Hey, hello and welcome back. The Rally Cry Collegiate Series featuring Madden FBI Tugboat here with Rob. We are looking at a full reset of the game. We're getting reports in now. They were tied up. Just gonna go right back to a clean slate.
Yeah, so this is game three. The winner will move on. The loser will have to figure out another weekend to do it. And I think our players are ready, and we're going to be able to jump right into a game. And we'll see if they stay with the same teams or if there's going to be a little bit of a change. No, that now they got a little bit more information.
Yeah, that would be interesting. It'd be interesting. It really seemed like the Buffalo Bills were working there for Elijah Freeman. Kansas City, hey, don't fix it if it ain't broke right there. This is a back and forth match in the first of these. A lot more methodical, decided victory there for Cheviot Nick in game number two. And now a clean slate here for game number three. We are getting confirmed. Okay, another change. Third team here from Elijah Freeman, excuse me.
Yeah, it looks like Elijah is going to go with the 49ers now. So keeps changing. So we're going to see Kansas City and the 49ers. So it'll be a repeat of the Super Bowl. And I think the players are close to being ready so that we can get one winner to move on and see who's going to take down our tournament for today.
It's been a longer one, guys. Couple of resets. We appreciate y'all holding on and bearing with us all the way through here. Third team coming up here for Elijah. Do you feel like, given play style of Elijah so far, that the 49ers are going to be a better pick than were the Ravens originally, and then switching to the Buffalo Bills?
I mean, I think they could be better than the Ravens for them if they just feel like they just need more weapons, like they need more better running back, better wide receivers, things like that. Because the
Hmm.
defense is going to obviously be phenomenal. But I am concerned that Brock Purdy is not going to be any sort of running threat for them, and that does take away a big part of the offense that they were relying on, and it does. Make it a little bit easier for Kansas City to play defense, especially when they are, user controlling that linebacker. They don't have to do too much spying on Brock Purdy in the same way that they had to spy, say,
Hmm.
Josh Allen or obviously Lamar Jackson.
Just that huge threat's going to be removed mostly here. Of course, Brock Purdy has legs. He can run. He is nowhere near the same capability two aforementioned quarterbacks are. Kansas City starting this one out to
Oh,
Pacheco. Cannot
and every
cannot call
game,
me surprised on that. Yeah.
yeah, every game we've seen Kansas City take the lead. So we would imagine that this would still be the case. Lots of Pacheco, lots of Kelsey, the occasional, you know, ooh, my angry. The occasional
Mm.
sprinkling in of a
Mm.
Patrick Mahomes run, but they have again yet to be stopped on their first drive.
Yeah. Cheviot Nick. We talked a little bit about this before the break. Has just done such a fantastic job in the first quarter of these games. All I guess technically four of them now, five technically with the resets, and consistently has same kind of performance. Speaking of, drill down in the pocket right there and barely getting this ball out yields a 3rd and 11 situation to start this one off after your commentators have been talking up Cheviot Nick and opening drive so far.
Yeah, it's there has been times if this is going to who I think it is, yeah, Travis
Yep.
Kelsey. These tight end plays towards the sidelines have been working on both sides for Kansas City. That's the first one though that's went to Kelsey. The other ones have been going to our backup tight end, but I would assume we're going to see more running plays and just keep putting that pressure right up the middle.
Yep. Pacheco and then a throw, Pacheco and then a throw to somebody. The pattern has been established thus far. That's something else we could talk about at length. The Niners change and always having a phenomenal tight end, but changing like who that is throughout. Obviously the Mark Andrews there for the Ravens, Dawson Knox, the continually underrated tight end for the Buffalo Bills. He snagged a touchdown in there in that even place game before the reset, and now San Francisco going to go over to George Kittle. I am not complaining about that for the tight end position.
No, absolutely not.
Pacheco.
Kittle is definitely a game changer, and you see now that this is a different defense that they are now running more to the right with Pacheco and finding success there.
This is a San Francisco defense. What Nick Bosa, everyone else. It's the reason they got all the way up to the Super Bowl, and a fantastic game it was. Right, overtime for the second time in
Hmm.
Super Bowl history. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, was definitely happy to see San Francisco lose as a Eagles fan. So, I might be a little salty towards the 49ers, but maybe not. I don't know.
Jury's still out. Jury's still out. Mahomes rounding all the way around, switches direction, gets to the inside now, posing a real threat in early. Kind of bounces against the
Yeah.
ground right there. Oh, Madden 24. Oh, Madden
Oh, Madden.
24. Oh, Madden.
Yeah, but that threat of being able to do that has to always just stay in the back of the 49ers' mind, that at any time, Patrick Mahomes can do that to you, and that's just a lot of pressure, but look,
Oh.
Kansas City has a lot of these negative plays. Even though they still keep running, the 49ers can put them into spots where they can get long sacks, they can get big negative plays. They just have to continually find them. But you've got to put pressure on Mahomes because we've seen when you put pressure on Mahomes, it is, you know, I don't say it's likely, but it's more likely that you can get Cheviot Nick to make a mistake. And we've seen some definite pick sixes from him.
Short pass to Pacheco. Fakes out the one. Gets him diving down in front of him. Stays on the feet for another 5 or so afterwards. 3rd and 2 coming up right here. Another run, probably Pacheco, man. Whenever Pacheco's actually receiving the ball like closer to the line of scrimmage and not having it pitched backwards to him, good things happen, Rob. Good things
Well,
happen.
and look at the play clock. I mean, look, they just scored. There's only 45 seconds left in the first quarter. This is
Mhm,
what I'm saying. Like they could have, and they were going fairly fast. They could have
mhm,
easily just eaten up the entire first quarter, put some real pressure on San Francisco because we don't even know what the San Francisco offense is going to look like. This is going to be the first time that Kansas City's seen them, and this is going to be the first
mhm.
time that the 49ers have had this matchup against Kansas City with these two players.
Mm. 8 plays, basically an entire quarter of football burned off right there. I mean, I can do that math. We're only looking at a little bit more than 4 scoring opportunities if these drives are kept alive and defenses do their jobs to continuously put pressure on the offense and force them to make big plays to continue to move chains and whatnot. Brock Purdy, San Francisco 49ers offense, first time here. Purdy back into the pocket.
Oh,
That absolutely collapses. He almost gets just cherry picked all the way down to the to almost to the end zone. Yeah, he's got his back feet almost in the end zone, backs up into it as of right now, gets the ball out into nothing and throws an
oh,
easy pick to Edwards.
oh, he still can run.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, and this is the issue, and this is what we talked about is when you were playing with, Josh Allen, when you were playing with Lamar Jackson, you can just turn into a running back and you can take off, you can juke a little bit. And the reason that Brock Purdy's been so successful is because he gets the ball out of his hands quickly. He
Hmm.
makes the right decision. He makes the right decision quickly. So you cannot play like your Josh Allen. You cannot play like your Patrick Mahomes. You have to play like Brock Purdy. And you saw a big sack and then a mistake. So that is not how you're going to win this game, obviously. But we'll see if Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs and Cheviot Nick can punish them and make it another two-score game early.
That's a fantastic start with Kelsey right across the middle, diving for the end zone. Got 4 guys across him, and still stays on his feet to get up to the 1 yard line. Writings on the wall. It should be relatively easy to predict. And this is San Francisco now, shifting a couple players closer to the middle, right up middle. That's going to be Noah Gray with a little bit of assistance.
Little tush push going in there and make it 14-0. Um, and we're not sure if the Madden
Geez.
servers are having an issue here or what's going on today, but it is
Mm-mm.
a little off to say the least.
Yeah, that's fair. That's entirely fair. I could see frustration yielding a decision there. Not gonna, not gonna to delve any farther into that one. Obviously, the San Francisco both offense defense not exactly what Elijah was trying to get out there in the very beginning. We'll stay on here with you guys for a couple of minutes while we try and get a confirm as to whether or not that was a forfeit, rage quit, whatever you want to call it, or if it was again the servers kind of being a little bit wonky and probably forcing another probably forcing the reset in which we go forth and have San Francisco or have the Kansas City
Yeah.
get 2 touchdowns at the start of the game 14.
Yeah, and I don't know if there's any rules if there's been, multiple stoppages, if they, somebody else moves on or whatever it
Mm-hmm.
is. But you can definitely see that Kansas City was well ahead has all the momentum there, and having to reset is probably like the best thing in the universe that can happen for Elijah, especially if they're allowing him to change teams every time that there's a reset, which is kind of wild to me. I would think that you would have to stick with the same team, but I don't make the rules. I just call the plays.
There
So
you go.
we will see what's going to happen here. Again, we're just trying to get some information on whether or not it was like a purposeful disconnect or if it was just a server problem. But definitely, if we're having server problems like this, we got to consider what our options are moving forward. But we will let you know as soon as we know.
Exactly. Just obviously having the most even playing field that we possibly can. Logic would follow that after a tied game, allowing the team change would make sense. After a more one-sided affair,
Yeah.
if there was the disconnect, allowing a team change seems like, again, don't make the rules. Seems like something that would kind of be out of the realm of possibility. But hanging on here for just a little while farther, folks. If this is a situation where they get back in right here, I think that allows you to simply, I mean, what you kind of mentioned earlier, right? Passing this ball around successfully against a tough Kansas City defense, it is going to be a Sisyphean task, right? Constantly
Yeah.
moving this rock up the hill. But Brock Purdy proved that
Hmm.
IRL can do that, whatnot. But regardless, guys, going to go to a very short break to figure this one out. FBI Tugboat, Rob Gonzalez, back with you in just a little bit.
See ya.
Hello and welcome back to the Rally Cry Collegiate Series presented by the Army National Guard, FBI Tugboat, and man Rob Gonzalez. Rob, we're looking at the second best of three coming up here. We did get confirmed. That was a forfeit right there. We'll be seeing that player go forth and punch their ticket. The Kansas City Chiefs player, that was, of course, oh man, I just had it here. Yes, Cheviotnik. Cheviotnik going to be punching their ticket on to the next round.
Yeah, and in this next match, we're going to see Jets versus Chiefs, and this is going to be a little bit different than what you see in real life. Mostly because the Jets are going to be able to bring out old man Aaron Rodgers, which is a much different situation when you have Aaron Rodgers throwing to Garrett Wilson, being able to run the ball with Hall. We saw the Jets last week being able to do a lot of really good things, even against formidable teams like Kansas City. And in this matchup, it will be the Chiefs versus the New York Jets, but do not count out the Jets because they are the Jets. They are going to be able to bring a stout defense as well as an offense that can keep up with the Chiefs.
Absolutely, 100% agreed. This is a matchup people would have loved to have seen during the regular season, barring that very early like fifth play Aaron Rodgers injury in the opening week of the NFL season this past. We guys are giving you what real life could not. How about that over here? That's what we do at Rally Cry.
Yeah, and both sides of the offense and defense for the Jets are very good. I mean, on defense, you've got Sauce Gardner. You've got pressure that's going to be able to be created naturally without blitzing from the front four. You've got this is why Jets fans were so excited going into the year before that injury, that the defense will be able to keep them in most games. But now in Madden, you are going to be able to have Aaron Rodgers there. But from what I've seen, you can lean on Aaron Rodgers if you like, but man, the running game was so strong for the Jets last week, and I would assume that you would see a lot of that when we get this matchup with Chiefs versus Jets.
Yeah, and the conversation Rob and I have been having a lot throughout the day has been running quarterbacks and what they can do. And I think it's fair to say even Brock Purdy could probably run this rock a little bit more than Aaron Rodgers would in certain situations. You said it. I mean, he's spent what 11 years with the Packers, something like that. So a long time within
Mm-hmm.
the within proportionally within football, relatively I should say within football. A lot of time there, not a young man anymore by any means. Taken to the field. We're starting with the neutral field as well. Taken to Atlanta.
Yeah, and this time it will not be Kansas City receiving the ball. In all the other matches, we
Whoa.
definitely saw
Whoa.
Kansas City getting the ball first and scoring. We will see what these Jets are about, if it is going to be more of a running situation or if they are going to lean on the arm of Aaron Rodgers. Either option, I have no problem with. Whatever scores points for you. Let's do it.
100% about that. 100% about that. Again, just like earlier, changing up your pace of play and the pattern with which you call plays will be necessary. With Zach Wilson, other goaded wide receivers out there, it's going to be Brees Hall running the ball. And Conklin, yeah, Tyler Conklin, if memory serves, fulfilling the tight end role.
Yeah, and we don't mention Zach Wilson here. Okay, that's as Jets, we
Okay.
just don't mention that name. In real life, he is looking for a trade and probably will not find one too soon because he has not shown the worthiness of that first round pick. But Aaron
Mm,
Rodgers, the pedigree is there, and we will see now when we start. It is immediately
okay.
starts with a sack. So that is not how we wanted to get this started. If you are a Jets fan,
Art imitating life, something like that.
right?
Thankfully no injury on this one, at least here. Gonna be having a mega loaded right side, tight end, wide receivers, everybody lined up to the right. That's Lazard to the left right here. Alan Lazard,
Whew.
and nobody gets open on this one as Aaron Rodgers is drilled down to the green once again.
Yeah, dealing with that cornerback blitz, did not pick it up until it was too late and the guy was in his face. Was lucky enough to be able to get that off and not take a sack or throw a duck up there. But it's 3rd and 13, and so far the Jets have done a whole lot of nothing.
Well, nothing so far. Double lined up. Receivers on the right now, shifting to the inside. One on the line, one not. Rodgers has Brees hanging out to the right of him right here. Is audibles upon audibles called to start this one out. Evenly spaced receivers on the left side as well. Now drops back. That's a big bomb, and that should be, yes, that's Garrett Wilson open for a big one to start this off.
Yeah, that's why you have Aaron Rodgers. When they started doing this audible, you can see that the defense did not move. so you know they're in some sort of zone, and he just kind of waited, saw what was up, and was able to turn that very long third down into a first down conversion.
Conklin on the follow-up right here to start off their second drive, their fresh set of downs, now 2nd and 7 here. So it gets a little bit more manageable. No Brees Hall quite yet, not in the rushing game, not in the passing game for not quite Powell, at least not yet.
Yeah, and I mean, there are going to be certain Madden players that just want to throw it with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Aaron Rodgers and Wilson, that's a good connection. So, you know, some people are just better doing that than they are trying to run around with Hall. So you have to play to your skills. Not every single team will play the same way in each player's hands. But it is 3rd and 6 again, so Kansas City can hang their hat on that they've at least gotten to 3rd down. They haven't just been letting Aaron Rodgers run up and down the field on them.
And this would be an almost unmanageable field goal attempt as well, even if that's what Not Quite Pal would be going for on a no-gain situation. They clock down to 5 right now as more audibles called in the line of scrimmage. Catches this one, easy stuff for Alan Lazard. A bullet pass right there, caught even through a little bit of rumblings.
Yeah, great pass, great play. Didn't let that the linebacker that was blitzing get to him. So everything looking okay for now. They can, as long as they can keep Aaron Rodgers upright. But here is a blitz.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, once again, that's Noah Johnson if memory serves. He just literally just beats feet right down the middle. He's straight line, doesn't even get touched on the way to sling Aaron Rodgers down. A 16-yard loss on that one, Rob.
Yeah, and if you're playing with Aaron Rodgers, you've got to pay attention to this. Like, the first thing you do is, okay, where's the blitz coming from? And make sure that you identify that. But they have been able to convert. So, like, even these long sacks haven't really done too much. And here goes Hall, just able to take that almost to the house.
There's the first-round fantasy pick we were anticipating to see in this matchup so far. Now 1st and goal, looking pretty good for the New York Jets. It's back to Hall. He breaks through 1 and gets within spitting distance of this end zone.
Yeah, I still, maybe I just don't understand, but I just feel like there's this opportunity to just hold this ball for the whole quarter. Just don't do anything. Like, don't give Kansas City even more time. Like, right now, especially, like, this is definitely 4-down territory. So let's just hold it. You know, there's nothing that's going to, I don't think it helps you right now to do anything but that. But, you know, they have other thought processes here. But it does get a little difficult, too, for some players to score, but not for the Jets. They are able to get 6 on the board, wide open there.
An early 6, well, kind of, here for the New York Jets. I say early. There's 28 seconds left in the first quarter, and I have to agree with you, Rob, when you boil it down. Like, there's not just positioning on the field, but there's positioning, like, chronologically within this game. If you want to put points on the board and deny a team like Kansas City, headed by a man named Patrick Mahomes, extra time to come back later on in the game, I'm 100% about that.
Yeah, like, I think, like, in that situation, they could have probably kept that ball to, like, 3:50 in the second. And then there's 2 problems for Kansas City. If they score too quickly, the Jets can get it back, play hurry up, and then do that type of deal. Or B, like, even, like, if they don't score, then, I mean, what do you do now? Now you just hold the ball for the rest of the half, and they've gotten the ball once, you've got it twice. Like, that math is very much in play, but we will see what, Pacheco almost getting caught up there.
Yeah, hits into a couple of his teammates right there. Of course, is user-controlled, so going to have to find a better seam through his offensive lineman in the future. If a man named Isaiah Pacheco carries a rock again, which I think is as pretty much as sure as the sun rising in the morning tomorrow, Rob. 5 seconds left in this one. I believe we're pushing into the end of the first quarter.
Good. That's what we'd like to see. Because for Kansas City, I mean, the math is the same way for them. Like, if they can hold on to this for the entire quarter, then the Jets now don't get the ball back. The worst thing that can happen right now is you take 3:50 to score, and then the rest of that minute 10, the Jets go down and score. And now you're down 14-7. Like, you want this to just be either a 7-7 game, or a 7-0 game. You don't want anything else. Like those are the options.
I
Because
hear
you're going
you.
to go for it on fourth down.
And well, this is like the kind of controlling of the game that's necessary to come out with a W. Again, this is the best of threes. Whoever takes us in the first will not be eliminated from the competition, but today is a single elimination bracket. Of course, this is week number 3 out of 4.
Ooh.
A big bomb, and
Ooh.
that's, oh man, that is just right over the head of Mecole Hardman Jr. right there, 3rd and 4 coming up here.
Scary, because that was definitely a touchdown.
Ends up extended, brings it in. I can 100% agree with that one, Rob.
Yeah, and we'll just see what the Jets have up. Like, I mean, are they going to bring like a corner blitz? I would assume they're going to bring some sort of pressure on 3rd and 4. But we've seen Patrick Mahomes be able to move in this pocket, be able to get first downs with his feet. So you have to still be careful that you just don't leave the middle of this field wide open and make it an easy decision to run.
See man coverage, but that's not going to cover Kelsey. Yep, gets out, first down, plus a little bit. A bailout factor named Travis Kelsey strikes yet again. Different players on the Madden side, same team in the game, same result. Travis Kelsey once again.
Yeah, and we're still, they're not taking too much time, but they still haven't gotten over the 50-yard line. But how do we take advantage of Adams right now? That's the bigger thing. It's like, okay, are we going to do some play action? Are we going to run right at him? What are we going to do to make this user make some mistakes? And as you see there, a little misdirection. He went the wrong way, and now you're getting 5 yards on the.
That's partially a just bad luck, like chose the wrong side. But at the same token, other side of the coin, sticking towards the middle is never going to be a bad idea. Pacheco just bursts right through a pocket opened up by the offensive line. That's enough for 5. It's the old phrase, 3 yards, a cloud of dust, get your first down every time. Keep it methodical, man. There really have not been. I mean, the only fumble in this game. Well, no, sorry, there was a fumble force from Patrick Mahomes. They technically called the pitch back. It was intercepted a fumble. Scoop and score, whatever you want to call it. But there really just are not that many fumbles. That we have seen an absolute laundry list of interceptions.
Yes, we have definitely seen our fair share of interceptions in the last couple of games, and we're looking at some man defense, and this is how you beat it: speed.
Stay Pacheco, and also like kind of more short, methodical drives right here. Doesn't always have to be incredibly flashy, loud, and in your face, Rob. If you're moving these chains, you're eating up clock, and you eventually score at the end, you're going to come out with a W.
Right. Yeah, and that's what the Chiefs are doing right now. Like, they are looking at this like, okay, we want to have this ball and we want to possess it, but we don't want them to get the ball back this quarter. Like, if they get the ball back, they're getting like 5 seconds, right? I mean, we saw games last week where they gave the ball back to the Jets or the Chiefs or whoever it was with like 30 seconds left. They still went out there and got a field goal. I think one of them got a touchdown even. So you don't want to leave any time in this clock. It's either I score or nobody scores.
Zachrock definitely knows that, and especially in respect to timing, Rob, this feels like a much more standard Madden match of people who kind of, have read the writing on the wall.
Yeah, well, this is the first time I've seen one of the teams actually just say, hey, we're going to hold this rock, we're going to score. The other thing here is you're at the 31-yard line. You have 2 minutes, so this is easily able to just burn 2 minutes. The question is, do you go for 2 here? Like, how confident are you? Because I think that there's also a possibility that if you're just pretty confident that you just end up going for 2 and start putting some pressure. Oh, my goodness. And look, didn't score the touchdown because he doesn't want to give the ball back.
Smart stuff. Smart stuff.
Should have got a first down.
Yeah, actually, I did notice that. That was kind of a premature kind of aborting of the rushing play right there. Might be kicking themselves a little bit as of right now. If I'm not quite Pal as well, what are you saving your timeouts for the
I'm not sure
what that you're going to get this ball back?
Yeah, the Jets definitely should have called a timeout. But they're playing a 3-5 defense, so like this is just giving them a first down. So I'm not quite sure if they're just are trying to let them score or something to that effect. But this is not a defense that normally is going to be able to stop 1 yard, and if they do,
okay.
But we're going to be back in no huddle. I would assume that they probably need to audible this up to being a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage, so you can just get this inch. And they just move it to the right side, but I just, going back like 6 yards to get an inch is just, also pretty bad math. So
It is a game of inches right here, and that's going to be a stop. What, our third attempt at inches, or basically,
no,
1 yard or so
yeah,
coming
they're
up?
gonna go for it. I mean,
Yeah, no, you got to. It's going to be a pass play as well.
Oh
Pacheco takes the rock.
Everything goes right here because now
Nice.
the Kansas City's going to call timeout. That's their second timeout.
Wait,
They've got
what?
21 seconds left. So you're trying to score touchdowns. Oh, sorry, that was the Jets timeout.
Doesn't make any sense at all, right? I'm not losing it here, am I, Rob?
No, so the Jets, the reason they call a timeout there is they're hoping that they somehow, some way get this ball back. Kansas City has shown that they are just not giving, they're not going to give it to you. Like, if you're getting it with like 15 seconds, 18 seconds, something to that effect. I even could see them running the football right now just to make sure that they just get 3 plays to the end zone and nobody else gets it. So, and they do that. And now you got another timeout, and that's from the Jets. So you got 17 seconds. And for Kansas City, you've got 2 shots at the end zone, and you really don't want to mess around now. Like, you'd rather just score now. If they score in 15 seconds, your defense is just trash. So you've done everything you're supposed to do on offense now, so let's just go get the 6.
Yeah. Guide has been written, and Pacheco waltzes his way in. No partner necessary because nobody even came close to Isaiah Pacheco. Going to be 6 on the board, tie ball game with about, 14, 15 seconds left, something like this. Jets will have a single timeout. I guess if we're delving into this a little bit more, I don't call it timeout because then the clock becomes a factor for Kansas City and let them use their timeouts. Or I do it earlier at like a minute 20 or something like that, and I'm going to be getting this ball back with a lot more than just a handful of seconds in the form of 15.
Yeah, if you're going to use your timeouts, you definitely want to use them earlier. And maybe, something good happens. Maybe you can get them to do a field goal. I don't know, anything. But down there, I get it, but I just don't think that this is even something you really want to mess around with at 15 seconds. And it appears they're not because they didn't run it out either. And that could just also be like a confidence thing with their special teams unit. But it's 7-7. Jets have it. And now they've got to decide, what kind of how much of a gambler do we want to be? Do we want to possibly put this in the air and then give Kansas City a chance to take it back, kick a field goal, any number of things? And looks like they're going to be playing a little bit of a deep, well, not even a deep zone. That's actually just a normal zone. So the Jets will have an opportunity to get something big here.
I'm right with you. Especially, everybody knows the Kansas City defense can do, guys. This is an air it out play. Looks like it's going to get broken up this time, and one more Hail Mary, one more prayer to be spoken here in the last little bit of the the first half, excuse me. My mind is right there though. Like when these hurry up plays happen, when you're forced to try and make quick decisions in the last few seconds of a half, mistakes happen. In Kansas City, obviously different players, same team though, and they've taken this back for 3 or 4 different times in the form of picks or the intercepted pitch. Shot right across the middle. Zach Wilson's got to hit the ground right now and does. There's the timeout. One more play attempted for the Jets. This would be, a 60-yard field goal? That ain't going to happen.
If you look at a 63, it depends on how. That's reasonable. That's not reasonable, but it's like not. Well, hold on. We're on the 46 on the other side.
Guess,
Never mind. Wrong front side of the 50.
Oh, I misread that as well. My mistake, guys.
Not going to get out of bounds, but 7-7 is just fine. Kansas City did what they were supposed to do. The Jets looked decent. I just thought that Kansas City might go for 2 simply because they weren't really getting stopped on offense and start putting some pressure on the Jets. But 7-7, they ran. They did everything. They held the clock. Very happy, I'm sure, what Kansas City is. They would have loved to be able to get one of those stops on the Jets when they had those long third downs. But I think that they feel like, look, if we can just continue to keep them that way, put them in third and long a couple of different times, we're going to get there. But Kansas City's getting the ball back, and based on what I saw, they could have even wasted even more time. So um,
Really,
I think that
huh.
it's possible that they could waste a quarter and a half with the ball.
Especially given they were just gifted an extra 5 yards in the form of an extremely short kick.
Mhm.
No real pressure that way. I agree with you. Based on what you were saying about how Kansas City's offense has been tough to shut down, and when they need, that moderate play, 5 to 10 yards or so, they're gonna find it. So going for two right there puts a lot of pressure on the other side and forces them at least once to either go forth and go for touchdowns in situations that aren't ideal, or at least forces them to go for 3 points when you as Kansas City can come back quite obviously and put points on the board in the form of touchdowns, 6 at a time.
Yeah,
Second and
and
6 now. Good.
Mahomes is like dropping back like an exorbitantly far away. Like I would love to just see him go back just 3 or 4 yards and just make the quick pass. Right now, you see a lot of linebackers towards the line of scrimmage, so he should have some ability to do well.
Hmm.
Pacheco's going to do his thing, but he's on the passing side of things. He should be able to get Kelsey involved, get Rice on one of these routes going towards the sideline. All of that should be there because the pass rush really has been non-effective so far.
And especially, yeah, I
There it
like this
is.
pass for several reasons. Valdez Scantling stays on his feet past one. I like that play for several reasons. First and foremost, if you miss the pass right there, it's 4th and 2 and you're going to go for it. Really no fourth down pressure in the form of that midfield tied game with the capabilities of Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, and I like what they're doing. This is right. So, like, this is what I'm saying. Like this is all day. I don't know a better way to put that. If they're not rushing the quarterback and Mahomes is able to just take advantage of these linebackers, just essentially leaving just tons of room to operate, then that's what's going to happen. And now, I've seen them rushing up. So like they're probably thinking now, if we score, we go up one. They get the ball back, they score, and then we get the game-winning drive. Like I think that's a math now because they played this a little bit faster than they played previously. So at this point, they're actually not going to be terribly upset if they give up a touchdown. They're only going to be upset is if they give up a quick touchdown. They want this touchdown to come with this much time, so that 2:35. They want the Jets to take as much time as possible, which mostly is like 5-ish minutes to score, because then that will give them all the opportunity. They'll know exactly what they need, if they need a field goal, if they need a touchdown, whatever it is, and then they can close this game out. So everything is looking really good for Kansas City, and the pressure is on the Jets to actually have to score really quick so that Kansas City can't get the ball back and just run it out.
Lately, points on the board, not the worst situation for Kansas City. Points on the board in the third period, we'll say, really is the worst. You go into a fourth period with 5 whole minutes, and you're forced at that point with a 2-minute clock stoppage. That is a sticky situation that you definitely want to avoid. Brees Hall starting this one off with a rush to the right, loss of 1 on the attempt.
Ooh, good play. Oh, Lazard. We said it. This is exactly what you don't want to happen, is to let them score quickly. So at least there was a tackle there. But that could have been very bad for this clock management math.
Wow, yeah, so that is the 8th pass of completed for Aaron Rodgers, 166 yards on the board. Average of something like 20. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. This is the Aaron Rodgers we would have loved to have seen again during a regular season matchup with this Kansas City Chiefs IRL 210 here. And the worst nightmares of the Kansas City Chiefs defense and Zach Rock right now are being realized, Rob.
All right. Rodgers is going to take a look at this. We see 3 down linemen, so they know that the pass really hasn't been there. Oh! He didn't catch that. I was going to say, what the hell?
It has been a game of passes that look like they're caught, or not caught, and passes that look like they're impossible to catch. Well, somebody's going to bring it in, almost assuredly. Third period, about 2 minutes left here. and plenty of opportunity, plenty of space, and at least 3 tries for the New York Jets.
Yeah, Kansas City wants to at least get some tackles in bounds. Hopefully, I mean, they're basically begging the Jets to run it, and the Jets won't take the bait. The B is wide open as well. You've got 2 guys wide open, and at least you tackled him in bounds, I think. Yes, you did. So you're going to burn some time off. I just don't think that Kansas City can burn, 6.5 minutes off the clock. That's just a lot to ask. And there we go.
Called him old. They called him washed up. Well, how about call him a 5-yard dash right up for 6 points here on the board. 7th coming in, perfectly timed, right down the middle. We got a tie ball game with 1:25 left in the third, Rob.
Yep, 14-14. This is now Kansas City can't play the complete possession game. They've got to play quickly here if they want to do something where they can hold it for the last time. Because the issue now is even if they took 5 minutes to score, the Jets have shown that they can score in 1:25. So Kansas City wants to score as quickly as they possibly can. And try to get a 2-for-1 in the last 6.5.
Yeah, so that's Alan Lazard. I believe that said 85 yards. Zach Wilson, 81. Especially given that this is spread out across 2 different players. That is Aaron Rodgers and notquitepal spreading the ball around perfectly. Speaking of spreading the ball around, that is spreading Patrick Mahomes across the ground. I have to pick that up for later.
Yeah, it took a lot of time there. We've seen these sacks haven't really hurt both of these offenses, but I would rather start and get my opponent into 2nd and 20 than not. So, but they have been able to convert these long after sack plays, and right now it looks like we just have another conversion.
Yep, leave Travis Kelce open. You can't be surprised when a first down plus 12 or something like that is going to be the end result. Continually, again, the bailout player here for the Kansas City Chiefs, Travis Kelce. The reason why they have been so successful the past 4 or 5 years or so. Mecole Hardman Jr. sent way out to go play by himself, sitting off of the line of scrimmage a little bit. 4-3 defense. Now everybody backing up. Blown coverage, and Valdez-Scantling is going to waltz his way all the way inside for another 6. So the worst thing possible is the Jets score quickly, but Kansas City does the same thing back, gives them a little taste of their own medicine.
Yeah, and this is a nightmare scenario for the Jets because now they know the 2-for-1 opportunity for the Jets to be able to score is very much in play because even if they were to take a minute, let's say it take a minute to score, they know Kansas City can hold the ball for 4 minutes and kick a field goal. So it is very, very, very poor for the Jets. What they have to do now is they have to hold this ball. If they want to win the game, they have to hold the ball for 5 minutes, score, and get a 2-point conversion because that is where it's at.
Yeah, you can't be giving this ball back unless you score very quickly, assuming that they're going to score, and then you get the ball back. But, I mean, gambling on that, again, not ideal situations. A lot of these comes off the back of, I mean, every drive so far has ended in points, right? Yeah, all 5 of these drives so far ended in points, 6 starting right now.
All right. Aaron Rodgers under center. Going to get this over to Hall, and that is a lot of room.
Ooh, that's even more. On the 20, the 15, 10, 5, and something tells me that's a little bit more. 1 second left. 1 second left, Rob, in the third period, and they turn 1 second into 7 points.
That's terrible. That is just, it is so bad for Kansas City beyond just scoring. But for them to not take any time off the clock at all.
1 second.
It is hard to hold a ball for, an entire 5 minutes for the quarter. It is hard. It would have, 4:30, 4 minutes. That kind of stuff is a lot easier. So here we go. The Jets going for 2. This is what I love it. I love this because now it puts that pressure on Kansas City that they have to do something. And we'll see. We'll see if they actually end up really doing it. But I think, I love being able to take the lead here and put all that pressure back on to Kansas City because Kansas City, if they were to,
Oh, yep, nope. I was thinking this is a run. Give it to Brees Hall and have Tyler Conklin block on the right side right here. Tyler Conklin just heads for the hills immediately, goes on a little hook route, and nobody's open after that. Something tells me that was the deciding factor of this game.
well, I mean, but the thing is, like, oh, they're going to go for, yeah. So onside kick is good. And the reason they're going for the onside kick is if they get it, great, you get it, awesome. If you don't get it, they have a short field. Now it becomes super difficult for them to be able to run out 5 minutes on you. So that is the 100% correct play based on what he saw earlier in the game with Kansas City holding the ball. So if you're Kansas City, you are looking at this like we would like to. I mean, if you could score within a minute, that's really ideal. Just simply because holding the ball from 5 minutes from where you're at, or just how about 5 seconds?
Folks, 12 seconds of game time earlier. We were looking at a 12 seconds. Look at me, overestimating. 6 seconds, excuse me. 6 seconds of game time earlier. We were looking at a categorically different situation, folks. Now, if I'm Kansas City, I'm going, yeah, there you go. There you go. Back-to-back two-point conversion attempts. First one from the New York Jets. The second one here from Zach Rock. Hands us off. Nope, not going to happen. Hit right off the hands. 0 for 2 on two-point conversions across both of these teams. I love this game.
Yeah, but this is awesome for Kansas City because now they're up. They obviously going for 2 there was a freebie. Because if they go for 2, then they're up 9 and the game's pretty much over. So absolutely great call for Kansas City to be able to do that. Now for the Jets, you know, they want to score quickly again, obviously, but there is pressure on them because, you know, how many times can you get Bryce Hall, you know, out essentially being able to do it all and score a touchdown quickly. It does give the Kansas City Chiefs an opportunity to maybe pick a ball off, but there really haven't been too many balls from Aaron Rodgers that have been in like real danger.
Yeah, that's entirely fair. There was the one swatted away. There was that's literally it. Well, I guess technically 2 swatted away. One was even close to like a interception type stuff. Brees Hall gets all the way up for 9, and truly the best ideal situation, if you ask either of these commentators, that you get, and that is second and very short distance, right?
Yeah,
free plays to get a first down.
Right, and the thing is, for the Jets now, they look at this like, can we play what the Chiefs have done? Can we hold this ball for 4 minutes and go for 2 and win it? So that's very real right now. They're on the 47. Being able to burn off 4 minutes is very, very, very easy right now. And especially if you look at this defense, you've got 4 down linemen, and linebackers are basically a 5th lineman. If you get past that first level, which he did, this is off to the rate. If you're Kansas City, you probably want him to score there, but, you know, whatever.
Yeah, especially, and he's on like the 9, right? If on the 11, this is a different situation. First down opportunities abound, but at least a little bit of clock running. That'd be possible for the Jets.
Depends on how confident you are here. Because like if you're confident that like you can actually stop them here, then that's a great tackle. I just have yet to see that happen, right? Like I have yet to see them stop the Jets. So I'm not that confident that that's something that can be done.
Every drive yielding in 7 points, Rob, or not 7 points, excuse me. Every drive yielding in a touchdown, not necessarily 7 after the 2 missed 2-point conversion attempts, but can definitely look at an opportunity here for the New York Jets in the 8-yard line here. Second goal, everybody fanning out right across the middle, and that is over the heads of everybody.
All right. 3rd and goal. So maybe it's not as automatic as we possibly have seen, but I mean, 3rd and goal, this is nowhere as far away as it has been previously for the Jets. I think the Jets had like a 3rd and 22 they converted. So this is 2 down territory, 2:50 left. They can't really burn any time off the clock anymore, so Kansas City feels good no matter what happens here.
They feel
really good. Oh my God!
Wait, what?
Great sack.
It didn't even look like he got. It looked like Rodgers had a step ahead. Huh? Hey, that's Madden mechanics for you folks. 4th and 19. 4th and 19 here. Definitely going to go for it. The game is on the line right now.
Oh, what a move on the interior from Kansas City on the defensive end. Blows by the offensive lineman and gets the ball back for the Chiefs. 2:13 left. The Jets have 3 timeouts, and the 2-minute warning. So if they can keep them from getting a first down, they can get this ball back. But there literally have been 0 punts. So, yeah, it is not looking good for the Jets right now. Oh, that is a dangerous play.
Yes. There was pick 6 written all over that. Kelsey gets the ball, secures it, and gets to the ground quickly. Only a single yard lost on that, but it keeps the clock moving until the 2-minute warning.
Here you go, 2nd and 11. Miracle. I mean, please run the football. Or not. Like, this is, and goes back 10 yards, and it goes for it all. Unnecessary! Unnecessary!
Gonna feel the heat from that one as Bernard Converse gets the first pick of this game. Not only is that a drive that doesn't result in a touchdown, results in a turnover in the form of an interception. Not quite. Powell is back in this one.
That is as bad of a decision as you can make under the circumstances.
Yep. Reading the writing on the wall is the New York Jets with the rushing plays. 10 rushes for 159. Probably half that coming off the back of a big breakaway, 70 yards or so there for Breece Hall. 2nd and 7. Full try use of the timeouts for both teams. But yeah, not quite Powell gets this. They're just going for the extra point, right? You going for the 2-point conversion?
They're 100% going for the 2-point conversion. They have, I mean, there's no way that you just give the ball back. I mean, it depends on, I guess, how much time is left. But, like, I just want to win the game now. I don't want to deal with it. Oh.
Try to wind this up. Yields with nothing. Spinning like a top right there as Rodgers just trying to get up off of the ground. 3rd and 7 right here. 80 seconds left in this ball game, Rob.
The Kansas City defense is just playing out of their mind. I mean, the pressure that's coming on Aaron Rodgers is just, it is quick. It is right in his face. And, you know, had they not made this error of turning the ball over, I mean, this game is just definitely over. But they still aren't even, they're not in the red zone yet.
This one out to Hall right across the middle. That's a first down. That's the clock running. And Kansas City is going to start thinking about what they want to do because, I mean, even giving the 2-point conversion for the win, even giving that opportunity is not going to be ideal.
Yeah, Kansas City's not going to use any of their timeouts here. It's just the Jets score, they don't. That's where we're at this point. He's already feeling kind of bad about the interception, just wants to be like, look, this is what we're going to do. We're going to play zone. We're going to see if you'll make a mistake because you've decided that you if they're going to run, that's fine because they can do that. They've got 3 timeouts. There's plenty of opportunity to run. They just have to be kind of careful. I mean, I probably want to call a timeout now. I've got 3, but they're just going to run with it. They just don't want to get too far under 20 seconds because they still have 2 shots. I mean, they can still get a first down. So, like, that's why I'm just kind of shocked for them to run the clock the way they are now.
Yeah, that's about 15 seconds now burned off. They started at 28. Half of this deleted now as they're looking at 11 seconds. Yeah, even with play clock, they have to get this ball up. I'm not 100% sure what.
So now they only get 1 play for a touchdown? It doesn't matter because they only need 1 play.
Tyler Conklin not as involved in this game thus far, but now shows his face just at the right time. Now it's decision time, or if you ask Rob, no decision whatsoever for not quite Powell.
No decision at all. Definitely 2 points, and there it is.
Game on the line. All comes down to this.
Yeah, you've got your best play, 2 yards, and they're going to give it to the man!
Oh, nicely done. Snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. Now, folks, there's a world in which the Hail Mary prayer gets answered here for Kansas City. They come back, but this is incredibly unlikely.
Yeah, everything went the Jets' way because Kansas City decided to be greedy and throw the
Mm-hmm.
football when they just needed to run it 5 times. But that is what happens. And then they ran it out, which is also kind of wild to just burn a couple seconds.
Hmm.
Not that it matters. You only get one play. I have yet in Madden to see a ball go from sub 20 to the end zone. So, yeah, I don't know what play is here. Um, if the Jets played prevent, yeah, if the Jets played prevent, I don't know what play is here that scores from this end of the field. So, and the
Now the
center
pressure
doesn't
too,
block
yeah.
the nose tackle. So here we go.
Okay. Running with a convoy here is Pacheco, but number 26 gets to the outside. This game is over. 28-7 will be the final score between these two teams. Is not quite Pal off the back of a really bad. I mean, if we're sounding critical, well, you're hearing us correctly. A single run is the difference between Kansas City just shutting this game down at 27-20 and a heartbreaking 1 point loss for Kansas City at 28-27.
I I love the decision making for what the Jets were doing. Kansas City was in complete control of this game, and again, the throw towards the end of the game when they were just trying to burn some clock was really bad. And then before that, the run where Hall essentially scores when there's 1 second on the clock doesn't burn any time at all. Definitely gave them a lot of space and on the clock to be able to do some more work. So that was super strong for the Jets to be able to do something like that. They're going to run this right back. It looks like we're not even going to come out. We're just going to stay here in the games. Looks like we've got Jets, we've got Kansas City, and we're just going to run this just right back into the second game. I'm sure that the Chiefs feel like this was a game that they absolutely had won and it just slipped through their hands at the end, and they just want to get into the next game and get ready to run.
100% agreed. You saw the Nick Sirianni Philadelphia Eagles as the offensive playbook that Jets are going to be running. I'm sure you spied that one out. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
Andy Reid constructed defense is a solid choice for any Madden 24 player, no matter what team you're playing.
It is. I'm happy to jump right back into a game because, we've had a couple of server issues and
Yeah,
things like
yeah.
that. So being able to just to like, hey, game's over. Let's run it back. Let's do what we've learned. And the Jets are going to be kicking the ball. It appears. Yes.
Mhm. And this is the advice that I say frequently, especially within Rocket League, right? Memory of a goldfish. If your name is not quite Pal, send this. You're just playing the Madden game ahead of you. This is not a best of three. Just win this game ahead of you and worry about any other games in the future when they come. No kickoff return attempted here for Kansas City. We'll be starting this offensive drive off with possession right here. Oh, we have a signal. I promise there's a signal. Signalism coming right now. There you go. There's the signal.
Yes, we are getting ready to get this game going on. And if you missed it, essentially what happened, Kansas City was in full control of the game with about 2 minutes roughly left. Instead of running the ball down, making the Jets
I'm done.
use their timeouts, any of that kind of stuff, they didn't do any of that. They decided to throw the football, not use any time, and turn it over. The Jets were able to convert that into a touchdown, went for two, and got it to be able to win the game. So very strong play in the Jets to never give up and never quit. But it is a game where Kansas City definitely had many opportunities to be able to close that one out.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Minor mistakes right there. Maybe a little bit of, I'm not going to call it greediness. That sounds like the wrong term, but just trying to get more than you really need, right? The game is won at this point. The playbook is ahead of you. It is what's been done for a long time. I think casual fans complain about fourth quarter clock management when it comes to football. That's because they're only looking at the play like this directly in front of them, right? They're not playing. They're not thinking about this as a four-quarter overall competition. First play,
Well,
going to be
yeah,
Patrick Mahomes' pass. Go ahead,
very
Rob.
good. Um, you know, we're going to see. So now that Kansas City has the ball first, they could play it fast. They could play it slow. This is all just going to be how they feel about it. Um, part of it is if they play slow, then they can just immediately get into this whole thing. Hey, we took 5 minutes. Ooh, okay. But let's say they took the whole quarter to score, then the Jets have to decide if they want to just try to do that or if they want to try to score quickly and do a 2-for-1. But as of right now, 30 seconds off, only one play, and sorry, that was 2 plays because they got the big first down play. But I would assume that Kansas City, they saw the game plan, they saw that it was working in game one, so no reason to try to reinvent the wheel.
I would 100% agree. This is, I mean, the playbook is ahead of them. They've done these sorts of things before. That's going to be a breakup. So, hey, New York Jets defense holding strong, at least in the passing forms on this particular drive.
Yeah, he had his wideout completely open on the left and just missed it that time.
All right, anybody on the inside of this field, yeah.
Yeah, this is rough. So he's got 3 down linemen. So you're playing a 3-4. You've got 2 wide receivers on the left. I see Travis Kelce. This is definitely a play to Kelce. And there you go.
And that's just Travis Kelce for you, folks. Like, you can even see this happening. You can have somebody report it in your ear, and it just doesn't really matter. Even with User, like, he was on this linebacker the entire time and just trying to track Kelce, and that it proves yet again to be a much harder task to do than to say.
Yeah, this is definitely has to be a run to Pacheco. You've got a huge mismatch. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 guys on 3. So they don't go that way, but like that was there the entire time. Like there's literally 6 players on the left side and only 3 defenders. So I don't know if he has a play where he can hand that ball off or option it into a handoff for Pacheco, but man, there's a lot going on there.
There was a lot offensively. Defense still holds strong. It almost yielded a situation. There's just too many cooks in the kitchen over there. Threw it through the middle of like 5 or 6 of them, and nobody really gets a handle on it one way or the other, offense or defense. Patrick Mahomes back in the gun yet again. We have a loaded up left side as well, but many more defensive coverages there. Pacheco's going to take this rock and run it up about 12.
All right. And we're seeing them maybe slow it down a bit. Yeah, so they're taking their time again. I like it. I mean, I'm just a big fan of using the clock. I mean, I just don't want to have to hurry up unless I have to. And again, I still see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on 2, whatever. But Sauce getting sauced. Way behind. I'm not sure where he was at in the zone, but that was not what they wanted, obviously.
Yeah, you have to even wonder if he was trying to get player to get and like.
There was 2 guys there. That's the problem.
Transfer zone. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, the offense honestly is picking apart this Jets defense thus far, even with the alterations to playbooks that they utilized at the beginning of this one. Not quite Powell coming out. And that's going to be Rashee Rice touchdown through a little bit of traffic.
Yeah, and we've seen that play get blown up and turned into touchdowns the other way. But when it works, it is something that looks real nice. And being able to get the ball into Rice's hands, get him some touches, your dynamic, playmakers, that's what you're trying to see. They use about half the quarter. And now it's going to be up to the Jets. But the Jets have been able to score fairly well, too. So we will definitely see if we see more Hall, because there was a little bit more daylight, I felt like, for Hall. As that game progressed, maybe he learned a little bit. So there is this opportunity. Again, you've got 2:45, so 7:40. I think the Jets should be looking to try to just score within the time that's here. So they definitely want to go a little bit faster because I don't think that there is a way for them to be able to hold this ball and get the last score of this game. Even if they try to hold it and give it back to Kansas City and hold it again, like I don't think that they're built that way, like to be able to hold it that long.
Even with the increased clock rules and whatnot, definitely a tough task for any team. 1st and 10 on the 25 right here. Like you said, about half this first quarter burned off, which is, of course, means that that's almost a kind of faster gameplay so far between these two. Full quarters, or basically full quarters, are not infrequently the amount of time they use for an entire scoring drive. And you mentioned like efficiency on drives. Well, until that interception the last game, every single one of these drives ended in a touchdown, 2-point conversion or not. Rolling out to
Yeah.
the right side right now, throws it kind of off, but
Oh,
is
was that
going to be
intercepted?
able. Wow, yes, it was. Nicely done. As Kansas City is going to get this ball back, and maybe that's my own form of a little cast or curse action, right? You talk about everything ends in points.
Yeah, and gets the 2 feet down miraculously. That's an insane play. So now, yeah, Kansas City definitely wants to just burn as much clock as they can. They're up a possession. No rush here. Just make the right play.
Rasheed Rice yet again dashing around for his second, the 10, the 5, and doesn't even get touched on his way to his date with the second touchdown of this game.
Yeah, this is an amazing play. There was a blitz that came off the left-hand side. Was able to get a wide receiver on the safety. The safety just completely blows the tackle. And now we're looking at a 14-point lead, and the Jets have a lot of work to do. It's still plenty of time. We've seen the Chiefs up multiple scores in multiple games and have blown it. So this is nowhere close to over. Being up 2 possessions is not the end of the world. It's just the beginning of the end of the world. It's just like some meteors coming through the atmosphere. It's not complete.
Gotcha. Number 18 takes this one in the end zone right here out to the 25. Like you're saying, in the world stuff. The best news here that they have gotten along with that news. Yes, it's 2 scores, but there's still 2 minutes left in the first before we enter the second half, and obviously possession changes, gets kicked off. Rodgers to Hall right up the middle for about 9. looks like a kindergartner's drawing.
And it's hard. You've got that.
What?
I don't know where that was going.
83 was there. Might have been Conklin, not 100% sure, but that was no need to have thrown that one out. Even a couple of yards would have been necessary for the first down, and Zachrock should definitely take what he can get at this point, down 14.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got to get this first down, obviously. But I would assume that you would just run this. I mean, I see 3 down linemen. They are going to try to pinch. So you should have some room behind 77 and 83 to be able to get this 1 yard. And they'll go the other way with it. It's fine. Either way, it's a first down. And there's plenty of time. So you do have the crowd messing up your plays because they're excited. But you've got to be able to put some points up here.
See how this goes. Steps back yet again. Short pass goes for Cobb right for about 5 right there. Again, short methodical drives. And this is actually going to be the first completion that Rodgers throws.
Crazy.
1 for 3, 5 yards, and an INT.
Wow, going way back.
Huh. 1 for 4. Does not improve on that one. 5 yards INT for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, and again, if you keep putting teams into third downs, some good things are gonna happen. They've been able to convert long third downs and that kind of stuff because it kind of just feels like, hey, I have to do this. 3rd and 5 sometimes feels like you start overthinking it a bit and like it's a guarantee, and then all of a sudden it's not a guarantee. So we see another blitz, able to get that out to Hall, and 4 missed tackles. Nope, only 3.
Now manages to get him to the outside. 26 yards or something like this for Breece Hall. First down plus a whole lot more. First reception for this player. Fresh set of downs, a new look on life here for the New York Jets.
Yeah, and this is why we keep mentioning Breece Hall, because he is an amazing threat when he has the ball in his hands, and you want to get it to him as much as you can, if that's handing it off or throwing these passes in the flat. Whatever you got to do to put it into Hall's hands, that's what you should be doing. But don't forget, Garrett Wilson is still your wide receiver, and he is an amazing wide receiver. You want to get it to him as much as possible. Last time we saw this, he threw an interception. This time he was able to just get out of bounds.
At least like looking towards the right side right there. That's thrown away. Again, Aaron Rodgers does not have the same wheels on him. Player like Patrick Mahomes, Jackson, or Josh Allen do by any means. 2nd and 10 right here. Faced well under pressure here. 3rd and 5, as you said. He's kind of shut down the first 2 plays. That moved the chains. Now after a burn play, receivers spread out to the left side. Put into motion as he goes, and Y right there didn't even get an opportunity to come out of this. Zach Wilson gets a hand on it and just pops it up. Gonna be happy. The pass thrown in a double coverage only yields an incomplete.
All right, again, more 3rd downs, and the Jets are still scoreless, and time is running out.
So the first quarter here, definitely been a lot more passes, a lot more incompletes, of course. For 2nd and 7 right now for Aaron Rodgers-led Jets.
Yeah, they got to get something going. Got to get these plays put together. No more squigglies.
No more squigglies. No more squigglies. Yeah, we already put it on the fridge. Yeah, exactly. Right. Oh, doesn't get anything on that one. 4th and 10, especially in the first quarter. You got to go for this one, man. Got to go for this one. I'm not settling for 3.
And it's hard, man, because now at 4th and 10, if you don't convert this, your game might just be done with.
Momentum, I hate to say that, just sapped from this. No, you're 100% right, dude. There's 0 in the way of momentum right now.
Yeah, and whatever this little pinch defense of having 3, they're playing a 3-4, it appears, or a nickel defense. No, they're not even playing nickels. Yeah, it's like a random 3-4, but they're getting pressure immediately. And this is very bad, but he's going to go to the end zone. Oh, yeah. An interception. Would have loved to just drop that, but instead he might have some room here.
So brings it back from they would have gotten it to the 30. Brings it back to the 38 right there. So a little difference. Nothing wrong with it. Still lots to be said for putting a second INT stat onto the board here, Rob.
Yeah, if you're forcing Aaron Rodgers to the right and then just he has to make a long throw. Like you saw a couple different times. One was actually both of them, end up being interceptions. So Kansas City playing excellent defense, the best defense we've probably seen all day. And then as soon as I say that Patrick Mahomes gets the team, get him right back in, because why not? Just give him 7. Because why would we want to get this game over with and be up 21-0 when we could be 14-7?
Love it. Love it. A back and forth first quarter it has been. Well, we come out of the most recent INT, we're thinking, man, Pat Mahomes, they stroll down for 20. Yeah. Put up 21 after the extra point. This game is looking like it's over. And just like that, Zach Rock has solidified his place back into this one early. It was not looking great for the Jets.
Yeah, Zach Rock is definitely wiping the sweat off of his brow.
100%. Greg Zuerlein sends this one all the way back. Gonna make him run for it. And I feel like there's a little bit of logic to that, right? Like making these players run all the way down just in case they're back on the field anytime soon. Just put a knee down the last second to get the 25. Like logically, IRL, whatever you want to say, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's I don't want to jinx Kansas City because they should have won game 1. They easily could have been up, 17 or at least 3 possessions here. Instead, they have a game. So you just want to make sure that if you're Patrick Mahomes, oh my gosh, wide open, touchdown.
Mecole Hardman stays alive, no dive attempts right there. And this is just a game of a lot of explosive plays that are all grouped together. This one starts out pretty methodically, and then what? 3? Has it been 3 interceptions? Yeah, 3 interceptions in the first quarter alone. And then, the pick 6 there for the Jets, and then another bomb to Mecole Hardman Jr. to make this a 2-score game, again.
Well, the Jets are doing nothing on offense. So Kansas City is just trying to get out of here with a dub and force game 3. And if you're the Jets, you got to figure out what's going wrong here. Why are they able to just basically get pressure so quickly and so often? Do we need to put a running back there? Do we need to slide a protection? What do we need to do to let Aaron Rodgers be who he was in game 1, which was a menace? Because right now, it's just really nothing. It's not. There's maybe a little bit of smoke, but there's definitely no fire on offense.
I agree with you. Gotta agree with you. Establishing rushing or passing game is necessary to create this kind of pressure, and neither of those have done anything, especially when you put it right in the hands of Karloftis. Again, another interception for another touchdown here for Not Quite Pal and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, and I know I've been pounding the same drum, but it's like they're just running directly into Aaron Rodgers. Like they're not blocking well. The adjustments are not happening. There's not an extra running back. There's nobody back there to help out and chip or anything. And this time they were able to get it. And we noticed you're having a tough time. Would you like to concede? They would like to play on. It is 28-7. There have been no offensive touchdowns for the Jets. Every touchdown has been courtesy of the offense of Kansas City, essentially. Mm-hmm. So, about that 21-point lead. Yeah. If you're up 21, and you haven't scored anything on offense, you're in deep trouble.
Randall Cobb calls for the fair catch yet again. Deep trouble indeed. You got to hate it when the game offers you the 21-point skunk.
Brutal. The game's like, you probably aren't having a good time. Would you like to do something else, like knit a blanket or go to sleep?
Oh, if you hydrated yourself well today, maybe now is the time for that. Come back to the game later. Oh, well, the bomb, Alan Lazard. What were we just talking about? What did we just say? No offensive touchdowns for the Jets? Well, they don't like the look of that one. They don't like the sound.
They were unhappy with me saying all of that yip-yap about their offense, and they immediately go back, put 7 on the board, and now Kansas City, I mean, they're up 14. They definitely they need this clock to be running. They need this game to be over because no matter how much they win this game by, they cannot win the series by winning this game. So they've got to get out of this. They've got to get to game 3. And the only way to do that is to get triple zeros. And so let's see if they start slowing it down or if they're content to just keep, cool. We'll just play this game until it's 96 to, 90, whatever.
Dude, that's fair. There are 42 points here in the first 5 minutes and 8 seconds of this game. The last 4 drives have not taken more than 10 seconds on any of them, okay? Any of them. In offense, pick sixes, defensive performances therein, and more. Insane stuff.
Yeah, this is probably not how they imagined it going down. But for Kansas City, you're still at 14, and you got the ball, so you're feeling pretty good. Just don't do anything wild, and it's usually fairly difficult to lose a 21-point lead, and especially if you can just keep giving the rock over to Pacheco and start draining it down.
Hey, why not? Not quite Pal. 2nd and 1. They have 28 points. That is what one of our teams finished game 1 at. It's 30 seconds into the second quarter, people. Patrick Mahomes sits back with a bodyguard behind him. Pacheco now moved a little bit farther out. Even more of a bodyguard type role. I'll see a little bit off the line right here. Not much coverage coming in from the right, and Patrick Mahomes is covered up decently. Can't get that ball out to anyone. 3rd and 1 we go.
Yeah, this is again. You have to change your plan, obviously, based on time, position, things like that. I just still have a hard time understanding. Well, I guess when you can do that. But I still have a hard time understanding when it's like 1 yard and you still line up 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage to try to get it, right? Like, just go get it. It's hard. It is hard to not get 1 yard when you give it to your big boys, but the clock is still running, and they need to just keep it running as much as they can.
And that comes off the back of inside the field passes and, of course, primarily through rushes. I cannot agree with you more here. Obviously, the shotgun formation, a favorite of Madden players specifically, gives the little bit more wiggle room, a little bit of room to throw this ball on your RPOs even, but no RPO here. Just a straight-up run right up the middle for a single yard.
Totally good. I mean, that's another 30 seconds that comes off the clock. And I would even consider running it again here, as long as you just let the clock go.
I mean, this is essentially Kansas City fighting against the clock at this point.
Yeah.
They've already committed a couple defensive mistakes. They've already Jets have already shown that they can capitalize on those. Have a single offensive touchdown, single defensive touchdown as of right now. Just run the ball. Just pour this thing out the hourglass, man.
Yeah, and the Jets can't really do much about it either, right? Like, Mitch Pacheco has been doing his thing. Speaking of Pacheco, and he just falls down perfect. Don't give them opportunities to strip it.
Starting this from on good side of the field. Audibles upon audibles. Handoff from the gun yet again. Pacheco could be getting 5 or 6 right now. Settles for 3.
Yeah, but 3 yards a carry is perfectly fine. They still can put this ball in the air if they need to, but now we're sub 2 minutes in the second quarter. So, yeah, it's all coming according to plan now.
Love it when a plan comes together.
Mm-hmm.
2-minute warning, and it is all going according to plan right now for KC and not quite PAL.
I'm trying to remember. Did Kansas City receive the ball? Should have wrote that down.
I'm so bad at remembering this, to be honest.
I know.
With you, man.
We just got so excited when they were scoring all these touchdowns and interceptions.
Yes. 42 points in the first 5 minutes, 8 seconds. Wow, okay.
That's the danger of that play.
Immediately.
I've seen the Eagles run that a lot in real life, and it upsets me often.
Audibles upon audibles.
Yeah, you got nobody covering deep on 3rd and 6.
Okay.
And immediately they are punished.
Yep. Aldous Scantling has gotten into this position how many times so far? I don't count that high, people. 12-yard line as of right now. This is still first down capabilities and a clock runnage coming in right now. And, dude, even a field goal, you'd be happy with that, right? 31-14, like.
Yeah, just keeping it to a 3-possession game is what's important. Like, whether that's 3 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns and a field goal, whatever. Just making it so that they can't get back in with a touchdown and an interception is key.
Yep, because we've already seen that can happen quickly. First time out here for the Jets, 48 seconds. Don't see why a man not named Isaiah Pacheco would take the ball on this one. Still shaking out the positioning of receivers regardless to superload the left side. Still a pass. This is okay. So it's out of Pacheco, and it's good. It's not a bad thing, but this is literally where Kansas City lost the game in the first of this matchup.
Yeah, the Jets are taking timeouts like they're supposed to. For Kansas City, you just need to get a 3rd down conversion. You've got very short, very manageable opportunity. And then you can still use the whole field. I mean, you only have 4 yards. So anytime if you complete almost anything, it's going to be a touchdown. You really just don't want to leave time on the clock. So, like, I mean, part of me kind of wanted to run it, but it's going to be a touchdown.
Ow. Stinky hands right there from Mecole Hardman Jr. Gets hit in the commission of that catch. Still going to be able to come up with the catch. Nicely done. 35 points here for Kansas City as we got 38 seconds left in the half.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult for the Jets to get back into this game. I mean, it's obvious being down 21, but 39 seconds is not an unreasonable amount of time to be able to score in Madden. We have seen it happen with this much time, getting a field goal or a big play. So we'll see how Kansas City plays it.
Good kickoff. Randall Cobb back. Nobody's even attempted a kickoff return so far in this matchup, and that's not going to change now, Rob.
Yeah, these two teams do not feel as confident as we saw in the last game. I believe it was Elijah who was running it all the time, no matter really what. But he also did have a kickoff return, so, Crowd back in the game. And here's the pressure. That's going to go deep, but this looks like a pick. No!
Nicely done. Wilson just changes direction immediately right there. Comes back and snags this one out the air.
Yeah, and now they're, in long field goal range after one play, and they only used less than 10 seconds.
Love that. of that. Even a field goal here is something they'd be happy with, just to bring this one back from the brink and make it a lot more manageable for themselves in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be a
Rodgers now.
touchdown. The field goal doesn't really do anything for them. I mean, the difference between 18 and 21 is nothing. It's still both 3 possessions. And here's the blitz, but it does get picked up nicely. He's going to try to get this drag all the way across.
Yeah, that's going to be in front of everybody right there. Nobody picking that one up. Clock stoppage, 25 seconds, and at least 2 or 3 more downs or plays here attempted for Zach Rock.
Yeah, and they definitely want to try to put some sort of pressure on Aaron Rodgers here. He's pretty much just having his way. So the reason that they're up so many points is because of the pressure they had been able to put on. So this is not a time where you want to let off the, your foot off the gas. You are up 21, and it could be 28 if you can get a pick here. And here's the blitz.
That's over the head. That's Zach Wilson is going to catch it and roll to the outside as well. Nicely done. Keep these chains moving, the drive alive, the scoring capability is alive.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson is doing very, very well right now. But he's their best offensive player, so that shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. 19 seconds, first and goal. Jets trying to make this manageable, but also don't want to do something silly here.
Those are all the way right out as everybody just moves as a convoy to the right side to kind of swallow up any kind of space that Aaron Rodgers would have tried to utilize either forward or passing wise. Second and goal, 15 seconds to go. Still with, oh no, don't have any timeouts, excuse me. Yeah, burned off all of those. That really is the deciding factor here. You pretty much have to throw the ball.
Yeah, they need to be able to get a tackle inbounds if you're Kansas City. And they are playing man defense, so that should be helpful, but they got to watch for this Lazard pick to free Hall on the left side. All right, it is not there. He's going to be able to look to the right. Doesn't have anybody right now, and he does get rid of the ball. All right, 9 seconds.
Does get rid of it. Okay, so the clock does stop right here. You can even get another one of these done before the half. Another play afterwards. Cannot really utilize a lot of time in the commission of doing so, though.
I'm interested to see if they're going to run that back on the other side with Hall. All right, no pressure in his face. Easy touchdown.
Tyler Conklin, yet again, doesn't have to be pretty, doesn't have to be a huge ball, doesn't even have to be to a player that doesn't have players around him, apparently, as this got, again, just a lot more manageable. But at the end of the day, Zach Rock, it's going to be tough to take a victory just consistently with the keep-up play, with like the constantly playing from behind and having to get touchdowns through sticky situations, whereas Kansas City can comfortably spend the rest of this game just burning clock and running the ball with Pacheco as much as they want.
Yeah, and again, I don't know that we remember who's getting the ball at half, but either way, Kansas City will start up 14. They cannot be losing no matter what happens on the first drive of the half. So long as they don't throw an interception here for a touchdown, we will be okay. So this should definitely be knees. Just knee the ball. Go into half, please. Don't do anything crazy and let the Jets back in this game when they are nowhere close to being in this game.
They're going to go for the rush instead here, and that will be the end of the game. Second half, excuse me. Oh, nope, that's 1 second.
They took a timeout.
Sorry about that. They did. So, well, another opportunity here, one more long ball. I'm with you, dude. Like, frequently these Hail Marys are going to get picked off regardless. Do you even want to give the other team the opportunity to run it all the way back for 6?
They're not going to throw it. They're definitely running it, but they should just kneel it. Like, there's no reason.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, they're throwing the ball. Lord. What is happening?
Patrick Mahomes is all day. Okay, and just slides down right there. Now the half will be over. Taking risks when it's not really necessary here, you got to say.
I mean, I think that's maybe part of the Madden, just the philosophy. When you're playing this game, there's no, like, punting. There's a lot of risk-taking. So I think maybe just to be good at this game, you just have to have that gambler mentality. You got to have that Brett Favre, gunslinger type bone in you. So, that's why you got to have offensive coordinators. Well, you got to have guys like me in your ear.
I hear you. I hear you. I think that the default can easily go towards just like that tunnel vision, that constant just play this play, get as many points as you possibly can, devil may care kind of attitude. But
Hmm.
uh, not quite, pal. We'll see if it turns around to bite them because of course Zachrock is up in the series. Of course, there's
Hmm.
half of a football game left, and only 2 scores separating these two teams. But not quite, pal. Not exactly playing like they're gonna come back in this game. Wilson gets that out. Wow, no, I thought the ball actually came out,
Me
hit the
too.
ground. Not gonna happen. That's
Yeah,
what
Garrett
exactly
Wilson's
what it
got
looked like,
strong
right?
hands,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Ooh, very nice.
Alan
And we've
Lazard.
seen this. Lazard has been just open over and over and over again.
Love to see it. Love to see it. 1 point game brought back from the brink. This was what 28 to
21.
7.
Yeah,
Like,
that 21-point lead. They had it.
yep, yeah, and then that was the immediate pick for the touch. Or no, the pick six was the first touchdown here for the Jets. They followed that up with like a one-play, 85-yard bomb all the way down. And Zach Rock coming back in this one. And, okay, onside kick 30 seconds into the third quarter.
Yeah, they're just concerned about Kansas City being able to run the clock like this entire quarter out and score, because essentially the game's over at that point. So they're hoping that this will speed up because they haven't been able to stop them either, right? So
Mm.
they're just hoping that this will speed it up, and maybe they get an interception or something to the effect. But they just want to keep this, you know, a one possession game. If it turns into two, fine, but they can score again, keep it one, and hopefully Kansas City makes a mistake. But if you're Kansas City, you also know that you can run this ball into the ground. But I think there might be a little bit of pride here that's saying, we don't need it. We're just going to score touchdowns.
We were just going to score touchdowns. That's exactly what is on the MO here for the Kansas City Chiefs. One play, one touchdown here. Start off the second half for the Kansas City Chiefs offense.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it like this. It might get to the point where the Jets just have to start doing a bunch of two-point conversions to try to make up for a whole possession. I mean, that's obviously really ridiculous because it's like you got to do 6 touchdowns or 7 touchdowns to make that actually work. But as of right now, they're not stopping Kansas City in any respect. So it is possible that you have to kind of start going for these 2-point conversions, and then depending on the clock, you have to like end up, if you score 4 touchdowns and you get up 4 points from your 2-point conversions, you can then kick a field goal to save time. I don't know. Like, there's a bunch of weird things, but they're still down 14.
Yeah, 3 extra 2-point conversions, a field goal as well as 6-point. Yeah, that's farther math than seems necessary right now. That's going to be decently accurate, but just a little bit outside of the reach of the wide receiver right there. Big bomb, not connected right there, and New York Jets go to their second down.
And this is also why 3 possessions is so important, because even when they score, they're still down. A bunch of bad things have to happen for you when you're up 21 for you to lose the game. Not just like 1 or 2. Like, it has to be 3 really bad things have to happen normally in order for you to lose the game, because obviously you're doing really well if you can be up 21 in the first place. But then, they also have to play perfect footballs, and we have not seen that yet.
That was out of bounds. Yeah, they're going to be the out of bounds. Did not get the second foot inside, and Aaron Rodgers shakes his head as he heads back to the line. 3rd and 10 right now. Zach Rock's just trying to find a way in edgewise.
Yeah, and the game is, as you can see, is going by a lot slower because there's not a lot of running, things like that. We still have like 9 minutes left in this game. But they really want to get some more pressure on it. There we go. There's some pressure across the field. That is rule number 1. No, we don't do that. We don't throw it across our body across the field. And now Kansas City has a chance to turn the lights off here. And there is a concession. 3 possessions, too much for for most folks, really did make it a game. It was a one possession game at one point, but it's better. Okay, I did what I can do. Let's get into game 3 and let's see who's going to call this one.
Yeah, just simply makes sense. Like coming out of the like first quarter, basically, and the game offers the 21-point skunk. No, absolutely not. And then showed why they did that. Showed it up like literally very next play, throw a bomb for a touchdown to bring that back from the brink 2-possession game. But it was just too much, too often there from not quite pal. With the Kansas City Chiefs, it was just able to find points everywhere. Like they're finding lint in their pocket here, Rob. Seriously,
Yeah,
42 points for them, very beginning, and then just not enough sand in the hourglass, not enough time, not enough chronological resource to be able to come back from this one. A best of 3 now boiled down to essentially a one and done.
yeah. And Kansas City has shown in game 1 that they could have won that game. Game 2, obviously, they just did everything right. So the momentum is definitely going Kansas City's way. The Jets, bunch of mistakes, and we're going to see if they can actually get those cleaned up for game 3.
Jets, Kansas City. Who are these teams? We just got confirmed in the cans. We got Bills versus Bills coming up here in just a second. Categorical shakeups from both of these teams. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it.
Hey, it's game 3. Everything's on the table. Make sure you don't leave any stone unturned when you're trying to get that dub. So whatever it takes, we're about to see it all for game 3.
And like, so not only is this like the new game, no player coming into advantage, both teams technically on match point or whatever you want to call it after the tying up factor right there, but now just completely categorically different teams, especially if you're the New York Jets. Oh, sorry, players backpedaled. Hey, Caster Jabate, hate to see it. Not quite pal going to go over to the Bills. Zach is now going to go over to the Chiefs. So Zach, who's playing on the Jets, now playing Chiefs, and not quite pal, who's playing on the Chiefs, now playing on the Bills.
All right. It's time to get it done. Again, one game, Bills Chiefs. We've seen it multiple times. It's going to be, what kind of defensives can you come up with? How can you get the turnovers? There's no punts. It's all about trying to get these interceptions, making big plays as the user. And we've seen the Chiefs so far being able to do that. But again, in this game, there are no rules. It's all out the window, different matchup, and it's time to just see who's going to take it home.
There is one team with the Chiefs, of course, being represented in here, but not by the player who's playing
Correct.
them before. The Zach Rock now playing onto that one. So interesting stuff. Your point there about the interceptions, I want to hammer that one home, folks. We have seen what I guess again the game rated it as a fumble, right? The pitch backwards, not a full-on interception because it wasn't a pass, yada yada. It was an interception. There was one other fumble that was kind of like forced near the line of scrimmage as well. That was Patrick Mahomes in our previous matchup. Everything else, I think we've seen double-digit amount of interceptions today. I wrote down. One of our games earlier had 3, and then the second one, Cheviot Nick and Elijah, I believe, had 3 as well. If that's accurate, then we have seen double-digit amount of interceptions across our now 5 games of Madden so far.
Yeah, that's the defense. It's, can we force our opponent to make a bad throw? And because obviously they're going to be playing with the best players, with the best offensive playbooks. They're going to score. Can we just get a couple of interceptions here and there? And that's where it's been. And for these last couple of games, we saw the Chiefs on both sides really dominating. And it was very fortunate that the Jets in game 1 were able to squeak that one out. But in game 3, again, now our player who was playing the Chiefs is now on the Bills in the closeout game. And our player that was on the Jets is now on the Chiefs. So game plans are going to be very different, but again, you can't get around the skill level of, not quite pal, being able to do all the things they've been able to do, which is essentially dominate for most of the game in both games.
Yep. So it is no longer, for not quite pal, it is no longer Mahomes, Pacheco, the Allen, and Cook, James Cook, absolutely goated running back within his own right. It was not really utilized earlier by, I believe that was Elijah Freeman. Opted to play that until the disconnect, we'll call it. 2nd and 2. Solid little play to begin this off. Zach Rock starting with the Kansas City Chiefs off on their offense. So the Buffalo Bills will receive in the second half. I'm writing it down.
All right. Thank you for making sure that you have our notes done so we'll know exactly what to expect. But Zach Rock starting with the football, and we're going to see if there's any mistakes, and if not quite, Pal can take advantage.
One right up the middle there for Pacheco. Gets a whole lot more than was needed. 2 rushes for 21 yards for the 2 first plays of this game.
Yeah, and it just kind of makes me wonder why he wasn't playing the Chiefs before.
Why doesn't everybody play the
Right,
Chiefs
what?
all the time exclusively?
Ooh, there's a nice blitz coming right up the middle, and is going to what?
Okay.
Oh.
I was gonna say, dude, gets that off is just unfair. Patrick Mahomes is already a cheat code. That would be more proof.
And the thing is that exact same like situation, if that's Aaron Rodgers, it's a sack. So that's what I'm saying. Like it is always interesting when people, you know, aren't playing with one of like the absolute top tier teams. I mean, being able to run even a little bit goes a long way. Another blitz, but that is going to go right to Pacheco and get this down to a 3rd and 1.
Which is marching on down the field right now. Basically, hear the beat of the drums. Zach Rock, Kansas City Chiefs, working their way on down here in ATL. Audibles upon audibles here. Rashee Rice and Kelsey are both moved to the middle. Pacheco carries this one yet again, and that's going to be for 3. Of course, that's enough.
Yeah, I mean, Zach could take a play out of the playbook he's seen over the last couple of games, which is maybe I don't need to play that fast. Maybe I just let this be a 6 possession game. Like both of you get the ball 6 times. That's it.
It's an easy agreement between these 2 players. You know, it's casual. It's casual.
Right.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think in the first matchup of these, we only saw 7 possessions total, 8 possessions total, something like that. Even with the interception that really decided that game. But game number 2 is anything but. New teams now, though, is Pacheco, and Pacheco have been the options for offense so far for Kansas City. Or Pacheco rushes. Or, sorry, 3 Pacheco rushes and a pass.
Yeah, you said it. Like, it's Pacheco in Madden so far, what we've seen has been the linchpin of this offense, even though we know in real life Kelsey has been just a mammoth. Ooh. I mean, now, he also went back 13 yards to throw the football.
He did. Yes, he did.
So,
Barely got that one out, so no loss, thankfully, for the Kansas City Chiefs. But to what you were saying, man, like, yeah, like, Pacheco might get, 10 attempts, like 10 rushing attempts for Kelsey's, 2 or 3, but they're going to end up with, like, similar amounts of yardage, right? 10 attempts, 4 or 5 apiece, 40, 50 yards. Well, that's only like 2 rocks actually being caught by Travis Kelsey and about 20 yards apiece. I think that's about standard, right?
Yeah. And it's still amazing to me that if Lewis is going to be the user-controlled person, to not audible, Travis Kelsey to something in the middle. You see him back in pass coverage, which is, I mean, it works out here, but geez, like there was nobody. Travis Kelsey didn't do anything in that play at all.
And just dropping back this much, ultimately unnecessary. Ultimately unnecessary. Like if there's a little bit of pressure, yeah, take that couple steps back, toss this rock, but out from the gun yet again. Checo sends off.
And wow, excellent pass, excellent play call. I'm actually really impressed that he was able to even stay on that side of the field of his vision, because the person on defense who was using the linebacker there was late getting to Travis Kelsey, which is like the first read there, but was able to know the play design to be able to get that to the left, even though Kelsey was, had an advantage there.
Yeah, and just the way that play was drawn up, or the way it ended up playing out, is almost looked like he was passing it to the Buffalo Bills defender, and then Hardman Jr. was able to kind of catch that one, intercept it along the way. But one way or the other, however it looked, we got a little bit less than 2 minutes left in this first quarter. The Buffalo Bills offense taking the field for the first time of this game and of this matchup.
And I'm just trying to think of like, what's the thought process to use the Bills instead of using Kansas City when you've been using Kansas City for, you know, up until this point? Like, what did he see that was like, you know what? I think I have a better matchup if
Mhm.
I just play with the Bills. And I don't know what it is, and I would love, to have that conversation one day about like, hey, maybe he already had a plan. Like, if we go to game 3, I'm definitely, playing with the Bills. But it seems like there was so much success playing with Kansas City, um, that changing to the Bills seems a little interesting.
I'm thinking maybe it's like that linebacker effect, right? Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills, fantastic game, but fantastic team, excuse me. But Jordan Poyer, the other members that make up that defense, Micah Hyde, right? These are
Hmm.
just categorically like game changing players on defense. And while Kansas City's defense is like great, like overall.
Hmm.
It's harder to pick out one single player like a Jordan Poyer that's just like, oh, that guy catches interceptions. That guy is consistently creating pressure. That's just shutting everything down. With Kansas City, it's more of a package deal.
Yeah, I mean, it just again, I know that you look at like Stefan Diggs. So Diggs obviously the in the wide receiver department going to be a much better wide receiver, but you have like downgrades at tight end by a lot. Like I think
Yep.
you have downgrades at quarterback. I think you have downgrades like at safe. Like there's just a bunch of different things. So I'm not sure if it's just like, hey, I just want to show him something different after showing him so much with Kansas
Mhm.
City,
Mhm.
and I think that's also a thing. Um, and okay, looks like we're just going to be able to restart this game. Something about the playbooks having an issue, but that happens. At least the game didn't crash. That's what
At
we can
least the
ask
game
for.
didn't crash. Exactly. Exactly. If we continue to draw the correlation between these two, or the differences between these two, agreed on the tight end, agreed to, and factors of the quarterback, right? Like Josh Allen can also get up and run on this one. He
Sure.
can also throw across his body, and he's also got decent receivers on the other side. But Gabe Davis, Stephon Diggs, comparing them to like your Rashid Rice, Marquez Valdez Scantling, those are not comparison. That is Buffalo Bills all day long. Then you take the L in the tight end position. Dawson Knox, fantastic, has been utilized by the Bills previously on the day and whatnot. That does not compare in any way, shape, or form to Travis Kelsey. And then you get to like the running back position and you compare James Cook, Isaiah Pacheco, and I would say personally those are pretty evenly matched up as well. James Cook definitely like takes less receptions, but it just with just running skill on the ground and getting up to first downs and whatnot. Those are pretty even correlations.
Yeah. And again, I think it's just, Patrick Mahomes is just, in my opinion, a much better quarterback. And in Madden, I want to have the best quarterback I possibly can have. Um, and that's what we kind of saw like in games previous, where it was like, oh, switching to the 49ers, and you're like,
Mm,
okay, great. You can switch to the 49ers and you can have better
yeah.
weapons, but like if your quarterback isn't as great, like I think that's the end all be all when it comes to Madden. We saw Lamar Jackson earlier today, which was doing some great things, but when he
Mhm.
was back there and really had to throw it, it was like, felt kind of bad. But we haven't been back here going like, man, oh man, it's so hard to have Patrick Mahomes back there throwing the football. Man, I can't understand how you run your offense. Like, yeah, it runs itself because I have the best quarterback in the game, one of the best quarterbacks any of us have seen with our eyeballs. So it makes sense in a video game in a tournament where you're playing for money that you definitely want to be able to play with Kansas City. And I would be shocked actually to see once they actually get this restart going or whatever they're going to be doing. That they don't play the Chiefs, both of teams. So
Yeah, I believe they're just straight up restarting. I don't believe they're gonna be changing any teams right here after the game three change up right there. Um, it's the philosophizing.
philosophical, I got you.
Thank you. The philosophical waxings or whatever to think about, like, what would the Niners look like if they had a quarterback not named Brock Purdy? If they even had like a middling quarterback, but it was just more mobile, say like a Justin Fields, something like that. We were talking about Chicago earlier here. They have some of the best, if not the best, skill positions around them, right?
Hmm.
Brandon Ayuk out there as wide receiver that you're talking about a top five, arguably top 10, hands down. George Kittle, absolutely out here. Christian McCaffrey, are you serious? There's really nobody in like the contention for what the running back position can do, especially when you're talking about the package deal, which is rushing and receiving, right? And obviously blocking plenty from Christian McCaffrey as well. We've even seen Christian McCaffrey throw a touchdown this past season, right? Like San Francisco would have everything, and it would literally be a cheat code if they had somebody who is less of like a game manager and more of like an active quarterback who takes hold of games in Brock Purdy.
Yeah, and and I know there's like that's the knock on on Purdy. Oh, he's a game manager, and they're like, but look at all these yards he put up, and I'm like, I get that he put up a gajillion yards,
I
but
Yeah.
what if you had is Cam Newton like prime Cam Newton? Is he going to put up more or less yards? He might put up an extra 1,000 yards. Like they might average 40 points a game, right? Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's not a matter of Brock Purdy is bad. It's a matter of saying like, does the offense score 10 more points if they have a crazy quarterback in there? But we all know that they lost in the Super Bowl, so it doesn't matter. Not a conversation, and they're not going to get rid of Brock Purdy. So we're going to be playing. Oh, it is going to be 7-0, so maybe they got it figured out.
Okay, so that would make sense. Zach Rock at a advantage right here. We're going to be coming back in with about the same amount of time. Buffalo Bills receiving second half. I have it written down here. I have it on paper. Should happen regardless, even if it's a kickoff and then a punt immediately afterwards.
Yeah, and not quite pal. Got to get in here. Has got to be able to score. We haven't seen too many situations where somebody doesn't score, but it's a 151. They want to. They don't necessarily have to go fast here. They can really just go with whatever the defense allows them. If they need to play fast, they need to play slow. Either way, it doesn't matter. Just play into whatever they see.
Mm-hmm. Like you're saying right now, it's okay to be reactive, not necessarily proactive with doing what they're doing, right?
Yeah, they don't. Like I said, they don't have to go fast. But if they're used to going fast, they can. I don't think that there's like a right, like, hey, it's a minute 35, or yet 6 minutes and 35 seconds left. You have to play it exactly this way. I think that no matter what they do, if they score quickly, if they were to use 5 minutes, any of those are good. And Allen is just. What's crazy is like he's doing that with Allen, and he could have easily been doing that same kind of thing with Patrick Mahomes. You definitely see that decision made quickly. Look at all the yards available and being able to get the edge. 6 took a super bad angle there, but now we're on the 47-yard line, minute 10, and they're just going to do whatever feels good to them right now.
Yeah, and like this is just not a situation that's even possible for Aaron Rodgers. Think if Aaron Rodgers looked at that much field in front of him in real life, like another ankle would shatter or something like that. That's just another day at the office here for Josh Allen. Rolling out to his right side. The pass is on point. It is completed. Stephon Diggs showing it in the offense for the first time of this drive and of the Buffalo Bills offense for this game.
Yeah, and you got to love just to be able to stop. Like, turns around, bloop.
Ran from 2 feet like a tree. Love it. See what blooms. He showed every slant to the right side right now. That does show up in the corner. Dawson Knox. It seems like a recurring theme that every time we talk about how Dawson Knox may not be as good as another tight end in the same league, something like that happens.
Yeah, that was some sort of catch. And, I mean, the throw, the catch, everything was great. And we've got 23 seconds left. So this is, now we get into a different situation because I think Kansas City would be best off to try to hold this ball for an entire quarter. You can hold 5:23 if you're running the football and you're taking all the clock. You can hold this for basically the last opportunity to score. The worst thing would be to score super duper quickly or turn the ball over, obviously.
Yeah, the tight game right here. I am in Zach Rock's head if he's thinking about what should I do here on offense. They threw a lot of things together, and a lot of it stuck against that wall earlier. But there's been a lot of learning Not Quite Pal has done across these past 2 games. And a lot of times when he goes to something more methodical, more predictable, it does get shut down. See how this goes in the Opening of their second drive, Pacheco right up the middle and gets plenty on the first rush.
Yeah, I mean, 2nd and 2, that's really it's a beautiful thing. You can now take this out, run this down to you get to the second quarter. Yeah, and I think they're thinking the same thing I'm saying is, look, okay, we can definitely run out 5 minutes. We can run out 4:45 or something to
Mhm,
that effect,
mhm.
and be able to go into the second half leading this game. So, um, 2nd and 2, easily convertible. I would assume that would be another run to try to get the first down and be able to start milking this clock correctly.
Back in the gun. That's Micah Hyde. Nightmares of offense is the league over right there. Pacheco kind of getting caught up a little bit on his own bend. Now dashes right, goes up, gets the first down.
Yep. And they're doing it exactly how I would do it. So very happy to see it. Very methodical. We're sub 10 seconds on the clock, and now it's just a matter of doing our thing. Like, they haven't been able to stop us before, so let's not let them stop now. And nice way to turn a play that could have been 0 or -1 into 3-yard gain.
Yeah, it gets like a step up and then kind of falls in for another 2 yards right there. They've not garnered a lot, but they've garnered first downs, which is what Zach Rock wants. Back to Rob's point, and the enemy right now is time.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not even. It's only the enemy for the Bills. Like, Kansas City is loving it because they've got possession. They can run this down, and there's plenty of field in order to do it. They've been very smart with what they've been able to do on the play. Another good play, just throw the football away. Don't try to force it. You've got 2 downs because you're going to go for it on 4th down no matter what. So 7 yards should be somewhere in this playbook. You've got a couple of those plays to call.
Spread out across and a solid bit of pressure right there. Almost. I believe that was DeMar Hamlin for 24 that came up and another half step ahead. This might have been going back the other way. 4th and 7. We know what's on the docket.
Not a punt.
Not a punt. No, sir.
We're in 3 wide.
We haven't seen a punt today, have we? Outside of like the required to get possession back after the reset. Yeah.
You got to get Travis Kelce on one of these drag routes across the field. It's wide open. I mean, if he's going to control Hyde, he's going to try to blitz or do it himself. You should be able to take advantage of this matchup but he's going to have Travis Kelce back to block, and it doesn't really matter because another wide open wide receiver when you've got an offensive lineman named Kelce now, but the real offensive lineman Kelce plays for Philadelphia, should not be playing in Kansas City.
Yeah. Wait, didn't he did announce retirement, didn't he?
He did not.
He did not? Oh, I
Nope.
thought he was.
No, people just kept trying to say that he was, but we're going to hope that Jason Kelce, my boy in Philly, will come back for one more season.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Would love it.
Great personality, fantastic center as well. 2nd and 11 here for the Kansas City Chiefs. Offense, 2 minutes 40 something seconds. This isn't really going to be a concern quite yet. In fact, if they can eat up a minute and a half of this, that's ideal.
Yeah, I mean, this is. Oh wow. Okay. Speaking of Travis Kelce, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you got to take advantage of your matchups, I understand that you've got your plays that you love and all this other stuff, but again, if the middle linebacker is going to be controlled by the player, that is a hard matchup. It is hard to be a linebacker and chase after Travis Kelce and do it correctly and guess his route. So, especially if you're playing zone, and if he doesn't just run like a go route or something like that, it's really rough to try to like turn your player, when he turns, you got to guess correctly which way it's going to go. And so there's a lot of things that go into that. So, and as you see now, you see him moving over to the left, and now he's wide open, but goes the other way with it to Valdez-Scantling. And now the clock is going to just tick, 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 tick.
And continue to
you don't
tick
want to rush,
right there.
though. Just let this milk it, my boy.
It'll happen naturally. 4 up on the line. Micah Hyde right behind. Be burning off at least the next 10 seconds or so. Pacheco with a 1-yard run is what the book says, what the analytics say.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys on 5. So play call says run.
Yep.
The sheet says give it to the running back.
Yep. Math is easy. Math is easy. 5.9 yards
Do
per
not
rush here.
I swear, do not snap this before 30 seconds. That would be I might fall out of my chair. Yeah, and I would love to see, okay, he's going to do it anyway. I was going to say I would love to see some motion. So, and immediately changes the play around 10 seconds, and now we would see a run play, I would assume, going back towards, and there it is. Does get stopped, but that's okay.
Stopping the timeout there, 34 seconds to go. Clock, no running here, 6 yards out. I mean, we saw Noah Gray and kind of the misdirection that just having him on the field when Travis Kelce's also here can yield. That was him in the fullback, or the halfback position, Pacheco in fullback position. It was a handoff to Gray. Of course, that was a lot closer right here, but getting that big tight end involved, not something I would be against. Here in the 2nd and goal play, comes in motion with 12 seconds to go.
Now, Travis Kelce should be, if he were to get this towards the middle. Oh, but they're going to go with that little screen again that we saw previously. Nice touchdown, 31 seconds. But this is nothing to be trifled with. You don't want to just play like complete prevent defense because they can get a field goal here. They can get a touchdown. We've seen it over and over again that this last 30 seconds are the hardest to kind of get them off the field for.
Really hard time in the game to manage. And 31 seconds for Josh Allen and the Bills that is not just a handful. It is not just 2 plays or nothing like that either. That was such a good play to Rashee Rice earlier because, we could see Zachrock had realized that corners were off of the line of sight a little bit. So the danger to that play, of course, is a cut to the middle by a cornerback or safety to grab this one and head down the opposite side of the field. That possibility was just not even really in the cards right there. It wasn't even really on the field. And so even if you complete this, you just get a yard or 2, that's still positive plays versus the worst thing that could happen, which is obviously pick 6 going down the other way.
All right, now we see some audibles. We're going to see this little drag to Y. Like, that is, that's good defense. You definitely want that to be happening. Now 2nd and 8, still have 26 seconds. You'll feel a little bit better if they're on the other side of the 50, sub 20. But we know that Stephon Diggs and Allen can create magic. And you see Reed, like, as soon as the snap comes, just immediately just running backwards. That is what you want. Like, you could have, if Jared Allen just does these kind of runs over and over again, great. You're not scoring a touchdown that way. So,
and also just bringing this pressure off of the line as well. Like, as soon as you see Hyde turn tail up that way, now, well, there's a lot less pressure on me as the quarterback, on my offensive line.
Now, they are running a zone here, which is really, like, kind of odd because it's gonna, there's another run. Sure, 15 seconds. You're on the other side of the 50. So we are feeling okay, but with 1 timeout, I would still maybe try to look towards the middle of the field, try to get some kind of ability to maybe throw to the end zone and then have a field goal as a backup.
Like a pitch to the middle, use your last timeout, and then really utilize that last 12 seconds or 11 seconds or so that'd be left on the clock to push it to the outside, at least incomplete pass to stop clock and whatnot. Everybody kind of working their way to the outside, and that barely gets
beautiful.
out.
10 seconds left, 1 timeout, and I will give some praise to the defense there. Was able to pick up Shakir going across and then came off of his guy to guard the other side of the field, so which gave enough time for the defensive line to get into Josh Allen's face. So great defense on Kansas City's part.
See if they're able to remain that brick wall imitation here for the defense they have shown so far. Only one touchdown allowed in the first half of this game thus far. Triple loaded left side right here as Cook is even sent out to receiver duties. Allen's got 5 in the front and none in the back, and they're going to be doing a great job of doing that. Shakir, good accuracy, and that is a catch. There you go. Maybe 2 plays left right here with a quick shot to the outside.
Yeah, definitely only one play. Just every single play they've run, none of them has been a quick slant at all. So whatever they call here, it's got to go to the end zone. They just haven't shown yet the capability to throw like something short. So, I mean, Cook is there. So I mean that Cook just got option to a go. But yeah, this is definitely going to be the last play. Ooh, but he's got some pressure. So 1 second.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Well managed on the time right here. One more. Do you go for the 59-yarder? Do you go for guaranteed points or try and go for the big 42-yard bomb? I'm liking this as well. Just go for the guaranteed 3. 49-yard single pass. 42 yards.
All right, so we're going to be, from 59?
We got shown as. This is the first field goal attempt we've seen in quite a while as well. That's good power. That's decent accuracy.
Ooh, it's good.
Wow, there you go. Okay. 4-point game coming into the second half. 14 points for the Kansas City Chiefs. 10 here for the Buffalo Bills. Controlled by notquitepal.
Great defense for Kansas City to force that field goal. Obviously, they were really close to just the field goal not even being able to happen. But we've seen, again, these 30 seconds, 35 seconds, that kind of stuff been going on towards the end of the half. And they are kicking off, so Buffalo will have an opportunity to take a lead here. We'll just see. Can Kansas City actually get a stop? Can they get an interception? Can they get a fumble? Something to change, or to flip the field. But so far, so good. They did let only 10 go by in the first half, but most of that was because of just possessing the ball. So it depends on how long the Buffalo Bills take the score here. But Kansas City can just go with the same game plan they went in the first half, which was, cool, you get 7, we get 14, or you get 10, and we get 14. So if that continues, it'll be 28-20, and Kansas City will be taking it home today.
No Caster math, but even we can do that one. Diggs right here struggles to get up to the first and gets 9.5 or so. But yeah, this is the kinds of the proportions that are going to win Zachrock the game. If not quite, Pal doesn't come in here, really interrupt that pattern that has been laid out thematically thus far.
Yeah, and
whoa. Okay, that's what happens when you try to throw on the run. Yeah. Inaccurate bullet. If that's not Josh Allen in a nutshell, I don't know what is, my man.
Yeah, and we've seen that Buffalo has now turned to this, rolling to the right with Allen, trying to essentially give the option of just running or throwing it down the field. So we're going to have to see if Kansas City can kind of cut this off with their defensive ends. Is this the first carry that Cook has gotten?
It's one of the first carries, man. Yeah, only second rush, and James Cook, you got to incorporate this man a little bit more. Yes, he doesn't catch the ball as much as Isaiah Pacheco does. Yes, Josh Allen spreads the ball around a lot more with his receivers and whatnot, but got to get James Cook involved. This is a dangerous threat. Dawson Knox goes out for a 1-yard loss, actually. Not 100% sure what the idea was there.
Well, Reed is doing a halfway decent job. As soon as I say that, isn't able to, get that, put a body in that lane to stop that pass. But Buffalo staying in this.
Been walking down the field. Last minute of this game or so. Audibles upon audibles called here at the line of scrimmage. Now steps back. Short pass as Dawson knocks the tight end yet again. Little hot foot. Little happy feet right there as he hops, gets around a little bit, and purchases himself another yard or so.
Yeah, and it's sad because that blitz was, you look over here on 73, he got to block 2 people. Like the computer just ran right at the lineman instead of towards the hole. So that's just feels bad.
Madden 24 Gonna Madden 24. First and 10 here for the Buffalo Bills. Score here will get a lead that Not Quite Pal has not enjoyed in quite a while, Rob.
Yeah, here we are. 10-yard line. This is where it becomes a little bit difficult to score because we've said this before. Not as much, length in the field, but ooh, what is this? Oh, that is great. That's a sack, essentially.
Intentional grounding. Yeah. Inside the pocket, throws all the way out. Another penalty here. So this is this is game one that a lot of penalties just kind of decided the pacing of that game. A couple illegal contact there right on the line of scrimmage. Now, third penalty across 3 games here for Josh Allen.
Yeah, and it could be helpful because it does give them a little bit more room to work, but you'd love get another one of those. Bring it back to, 3rd and 30.
Well, yeah, barring a turnover, at least there'll be scoring capabilities from the field goal here, but something tells me that's not something that Not Quite Pal is going to be content with. The rush up, about 5 yards on that one. This really does not improve that much from 2nd and 20 to 3rd and 15.
Yeah, and we're just going to kind of have to see, will he have time to let some of these plays develop? And now he's sticking in the pocket. Much better. Ooh, nice juke from Knox. Who cares about intentional grounding?
Yeah. This is Dawson Knox. Now 2 touchdowns here on the day. Tight ends showing supreme here in this matchup. The deciding factor between Not Quite Pal and zachrock11233.
Yeah, so now we are in a situation where if you are Kansas City, you need any sort of points, but you want to do it within 2 minutes and 19 seconds. You want to make sure, because we haven't seen Buffalo really hold the football, so we're not quite sure if they're going to be able to do that in that way, but we know that Kansas City definitely can. But you would like to, again, turn this is just a 2-for-1, but you want it at 7 minutes to be a 2-for-1 in your favor. That's all.
A field goal would do it on that ratio as well, the 2-for-1, Rob. This one goes out. Valdez-Scantling gets a bomb put right into his hands. A little bit of contact at the end. Going to yield a no catch there. Has allowed 91 passing yards so far. The Buffalo Bills have. And back to the drawing board here for Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, 2nd and 10. Still, like I said, there's still a lot of time in this clock. That's a dangerous pass. That's the best way to put that.
Huh. Yeah, that covers, that has catchability on the inside. Once it actually gets to where his receiver is at vertically, it's, 3-4 yards outside.
Mm-hmm.
In the out of bounds, yeah. So bad pass right there. You're going to be glad that incomplete is going to be the end result of that play.
Yeah, and we've said it before. You put somebody in enough 3rd and 10s, and good things will happen. And now you've got a 4th and 3.
4th and 3. No punts here. That'd be a good name for a Madden League. No punt league. Something like that. The NPL. We're playing here on the day, folks. Going back to heavily loading the left side. Travis Kelce closer off the line. Well, Hardman, Valdez-Scantling right next to him with Pacheco playing bodyguard in the back. Now Pacheco going out for receiving duties, tossing it out right into the ground, and that's a turnover on downs.
Hey, big defensive play. We have seen very few turnover on downs at this part of the field, so Buffalo's got to be feeling very good because now they get to, look, if they score within 127, now they could be up 2 possessions with 5 minutes. Everything is looking rosy right now.
There you go. Everything's turning up roses, especially if you're James Cook and you just got a 6-yard reception to make this first down much more possible.
Yeah,
second
and don't
and 4
forget
situation.
that our player right now who is playing with Buffalo had previously been playing with Kansas City.
It's very true. Very true. Kansas City first 2 games, now switched to Buffalo. That's just a matchup that's been played across Madden a billion times so far, it seems. Perhaps that's just a matchup. And the comfort pick. James Cook, telling you, man, You get the man involved, good things will happen. 3 rush attempts for 9 yards on average each.
It was crazy with that play because he let the defensive line or the defensive players get a little bit too close to the offensive lineman and then whoop, just bounced to the outside.
Fourth quarter we go right here. No reason to snap that ball. Was still in the third. The last little bit, last breathing room here
Hmm.
for the Kansas City Chiefs will be started, and that's going to be dictated by touchdown or not. I don't see a field goal being the end result of this one as long as they have an honest shot at even getting 7.
Yeah, touchdown will be very good. They still want to use some of this clock, but man,
Okay, kind of a backwards pass to
yeah.
Stephon Diggs, but he's going to be the one that actually gets out. Counts as a rush right there, right? Because it's technically the backward pass. Love it. Wonky stat, whatever. It works. And just kind of walking through 88 right there. All good. All gravy.
Yeah.
Everyone just setting up. Madden gonna Madden. Alan, calling a couple of audibles. This is an offensive line just really crested around him as of right now. 73 and 29. We're in angle back, and this is going to create a much better
Oh
pocket.
boy.
Now Allen gets some space, and we know what that's going to happen there. He gets hit a couple of times after he's actually initiated the sliding motion IRL. They'd be freaking out right now.
Hmm. Yeah, and that's actually as good of a play as you can get because, man, like being able to get a first down and keep this clock moving is the two things that you're absolutely looking to do.
Ooh, James Cook getting clipped down in the back. That's a loss of 4 or so right there. And no first down capabilities either because they were,
Hmm.
yeah, they were first and goal at about the 10-yard line, my man.
Yeah, Buffalo hasn't been stopped, so I'm not actually like too terribly concerned about it. It's just a matter of like don't take any sacks, right? Like turn it up or throw it away.
Good boy.
Yeah. Don't let them
98
intercept it
almost.
and run it back for a touchdown. Something crazy. Like
That is exactly what 98 almost did there, Rob. You called it best, man. That was the, obviously getting this ball out so you avoid the sack is not bad, but that's already happened once that a player was able to get under it and run it back for points earlier. That was the Shaviot Nick and Elijah Freeman matchup earlier. Another matchup that went all the way down to the third game as well, folks.
here we are, 3rd and goal. Oh, there's a blitz, and somehow gets that to count as a pass, and now it's 4th down, and
Wait.
lots of yards.
is
So they
gonna-
think they have to go for field goal.
Okay, yeah, I mean, they selected right there, but I mean, being up by 6 means nothing against the Kansas City Chiefs squad that has proven they can march right on down the field. They get 7 with, .01 left on the clock. We're gonna have another 1-point game, just like we saw in game number 1, Rob.
Yeah, and Buffalo has been playing good defense. This is going to be their chance to prove it. Like, can you, for 3 minutes and 17 seconds, can you hold them? Or B, can you convince them to score in 1 minute? Like,
Hey guys, just take 60 seconds. Just you got it. It's okay. Honestly, that wouldn't be a terrible thing. I mean, like you said, it wouldn't be bad for Buffalo. I think just running the rock is going to be the name of the game here for Kansas City. Isaiah Pacheco brings it up to about 12 yards up, first down and more.
yeah, Kansas City just obviously wants to score a touchdown with 1 second left on the clock or 0 seconds on the clock. It is hard to get it to that point exactly because you also still have to score to win this game, but they are put in the position where they're on the 48-yard line, so they have a lot of room and a lot of things they can do here. So it is looking kind of grim for Buffalo simply because of that. They can't force them to score, and Kansas City is not doing the silly thing, which would be to rush. They can just take their sweet time and just make sure, though, that they're the only team that gets to win this game, and that it's going to be on this drive.
So in the 46, they have 4 technically, really only like 2 first down capabilities on here unless they intentionally cut them short. 2nd and 5 right now would provide them a lot more wiggle room, but taking this down to the 2-minute warning is what I would do. As the clock stoppage comes, as it does, 2-minute warning we come with Both teams with a laundry list of timeouts.
Yeah, and we haven't had any interceptions this game, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think so. No, we've had a single turnover on downs, Rob, which
Yeah.
definitely going to be impactful within the game. But no interceptions, no
Oh,
fumbles.
what a beautiful move back to the inside. Just falls over, lets this clock continue to run.
Another 20 seconds or so. Yeah, should not snap this before the clock says about 128, 125.
Yeah, once it gets to about 125, though, then they got to just be like, hey, we still got to score here. Okay, guys, we still have 40 yards. This isn't automatic from 40.
Checo takes this one again.
Yeah, they got to hurry now. Yeah, there you go.
Utilizing their own timeouts would not be a bad move, given that there's really not much in the way of like comeback capabilities if they, when they score. The ball
I
back.
thought that was
Pacheco
intercepted.
somehow
Whew.
catches it against the back of his right knee or something like this. Okay, hey, it happens.
Yeah. I mean, great play. And now, you want to. Okay, look, if you're down 4, so a field goal still ties the game. So you really just can't just do anything, but you do need to score. And there's your timeout. You've got 2 timeouts for Kansas City, 22 seconds. Essentially, you want to run one more time to get it sub 20 seconds, and then just 4 shots at the end zone.
And do it with the timeouts as well. If of those 4, at least 1 incomplete, that is 3 clock stoppages. Yeah, math is adding up there, Rob. See if they can get the equation that they so choose. This math homework ends in a W here for Zach Rock. That's going to be the first down. That's going to be the second timeout for Kansas City.
Right.
22 devolves into 17, but first and down is really the operating equation here.
Yeah, and you've got lots of plays that can gain you 13, and you still have 1 timeout, so you can go to the middle. You're not just DOA if you get tackled or sacked. So obviously, getting sacked is not great, but you have everything is at your disposal. You can score right now and still feel good about it because it's only going to be 15 seconds left, and that's interior. Oh,
hit him. Oh, Travis Kelce almost coming up with the game-winning play again. Not going to happen here. 2nd and 10 with only a second or 2 burned off of our game clock.
Great defense by Buffalo. This is their last stand. All right, they know that they're in zone. So I would assume they're going to audible Kelce, but every time I think that, oh no, they did audible, he's got to go. He's to the left, but they're going to go back to the right, but there's an interception! Oh no!
There it is. I'm going to say that's probably our game. Knees, timeouts, it doesn't matter. Not quite. Pal has come all the way back to get this one done with a pick just outside of the end zone. Not Quite Pal has purchased this all the way through. Love it. There's the knee. Call a timeout if you want. It does not matter. A back and forth match that goes all the way down to the wire. It was a 1-point game earlier. Game 2 was a little bit of a different story. Game 3 comes down to a single possession yet again. A single score there. 20-14 will be our final here for Not Quite Pal.
Great defensive play on behalf of the Buffalo Bills. Excellent. Obviously, we talked about it. Turnovers are the name of the game. But, also big congratulations to Kansas City in that game. They played an outstanding game, had an opportunity to be able to win it at the very end, did everything they needed to do with the clock, but just couldn't get that last completion through. So close to being able to make sure that they had an opportunity to win that game, and I'm just very happy to see what happened there.
Yeah, it was an incredibly, incredibly exciting. Like you said, all of the pieces were in place, and they did everything they needed to, like to kind of come into this
Hmm.
one. But then, just again, we said it. Oh, there's not been any interceptions in this. There has been a turnover but well, all goes all the way down yet again. Big, big congratulations to Not Quite Pal for taking this one down. In best of three that went all the way down to the wire. I don't know how many lead changes there were exactly in the last game. There was like four or something like that in the first game right there. Pretty much every time somebody was scoring, they were taking the lead overall. Big congratulations, Not Quite Pal.
Yeah, I mean, a fabulous game three. Awesome way to be able to end a great day of Madden. Awesome to be able to hang out with you, Tugboat. We
Yeah, yeah.
loved some Madden, and and the games are super exciting. That last game, you couldn't ask for too much more. But again, it is to be noted that our player who was playing Kansas City did change to Buffalo and ended up getting the game-sealing pick on defense. So hats off to him, winning with a different team and doing it a little bit different than everybody else.
Absolutely, absolutely. A lot of times I feel like you just do the other thing, right? You like the Josh Allen offense, everything, and you bring it all the way back, and then clutch time, you bring in the Kansas City Chiefs. You bring in the two-time Super Bowl winners from the last 2 years to come on in and clutch it up for you. But not the case here today. Not the case here today, and all the respect in the world for that one. But that's going to be about it for us, folks. I want to remind you guys that the Army National Guard makes competitions just like this one possible. We want to give them a little bit of a shout out. Now, soldiers in the Army National Guard show up for the community, state, and country when they are needed the most because they're civilians, and they're a soldier because guard service is part-time. There is not a 9 to 5 they're regularly clocking into. And speaking of 9 to 5s, you can obviously work while still within guard service, not just working, also go to college and further that higher education, Rob.
Yeah, and this wouldn't be possible without the guards. So thank you again. Thank you to everybody who played today. Thank you to all of our guardsmen across the country, across just everywhere, being able to help out and being able to be called up when we need you. So other than that, it has been a fabulous time. Thank you to everybody at home. And Tug, we are going to see you another weekend, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll be back. I believe Navant will be back next weekend as well. I want to give a big shout out to our production staff here on the day. Big shout out to Rally Cry. That's Aster. That's Fiji. There's a laundry list of awesome people behind the scenes that make competitions just like this one possible. Rob and I are just two guys screaming about esports, screaming about Madden in our rooms without our production staff, guys. So seriously, big shout out. With that, I don't have anything else. Rob, do you have anything else for the good people before we do bid them adieu?
No, that's it. Have a great night, and you'll see Tug and everybody else next week.
We get how uncertain the future is. We've come of age in a complex world, face to face with problems we didn't create. So what's gonna happen next? We are. Because our future is the future. The life we have chosen has prepared us for this. So we're going to build bridges and hospitals in a day. We're going to save families from disasters and feed those left in the cold. We're going to do all this and more because we have an appointment with destiny. We invite you to join us. The next greatest generation is now.